I always forget how loud that intro is. I mean, I always have it turned down when I use it on regular videos, but man, on here, it's like, wow. What's happening, guys? What's going on? How's everybody doing? It's like I just had a stream and now I hear him again. And I just posted a video too, man. I'm trying to be like, trying to post that Jay Leva video. I recorded the audio before Scott and I went live, and then I was like, all right, I have some time in between streams to post about it. And of course, we'll talk about it more tomorrow on Film Junkie Live. We'll go through all the Jay Leva storyboards because that was cool. That was a nice little gift that we got today from Mr. Jay Leva. I know. Sorry about that, Ryan. Apologize. I know. I always forget that when I uploaded that version of that intro a long time ago, and it was the music was really loud. So my bad. That's right. I'm multitasking. Oh, all right, cool. You're gonna be joining tonight, Phil. Sweet. Yep, it's the monthly Patreon stream. Gotta bring on the patrons, man. Helping out, supporting the channel. It's what it's all about. So we'll see who shows up tonight. And we'll have a good time. Always have a fun time. Usually we do it on Saturdays, but I wanted to make sure that, I know like some people were concerned about not being able to join. So, and I was kind of, after having a 6-hour vodka stream, I kind of just wanted to relax a little bit and work on some things last night. So I wasn't really in a streaming kind of mood. So I was actually cool with just bumping it to tonight, which is fine by me. But yeah, worked on some things. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, just revamping some things with the show, with the streams that I'll be doing, hopefully. And then this certain thing that I've been talking about many times, especially on my Patreon Thursday audios, about something I want to bring back from a while ago that I'm trying to figure out exactly the best way to do it, because there were certain complications that happened when I did it before. So we'll see what happens with that, but just working on that kind of stuff. So good times. And I watched the Batman again last night. It hit me. I was like, all right, because I've been running through Young Justice again all the way through. What's going on there, Mr. Jesse? First come, first served. Yeah, I'll be posting the link in just a little bit. Mix it up with member stream. Oh, yo, what's going on, Abel? How you doing? Got the wine ready, Mr. Jason. Yeah, double dose. That's what I'm talking about, right? Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Got ham. This is one of the shirts. I'd say this is one of my most creative shirts, to be honest. I remember I spent like a week figuring out exactly how to incorporate, the Rogues Gallery, like the main Rogues Gallery in this whole thing. Yeah, it took me a little bit. The Catwoman part of this shirt was the hardest part. I was like, how do I incorporate Catwoman? And then I just figured I have an M and I'll just put it, like she has like, because she's had Catwoman costumes that have had, a little bit of a collar and a deep V. So I thought, all right. So I did it like that. Yeah. Not easy. It was very easy when it came to like this. And then I went back and forth on the Penguins umbrella right here, because I didn't think it looked like a T. And then I was like, I guess it's close enough to being a T. And then I used the more circular bat signal or bat symbol right there. So, hey, Dane, how you doing, buddy? All right, what's going on, Stephanie? Good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and get the party started here. Patrons, so I'll be doing that. If you want to take part in it, just the Patreon link's down there. Go ahead and do so if you want to do it. But yeah, I'll have some fun tonight. Okay. Posting it now. Patreon stream. What? Yeah. Stream link. All right, here you go. Here we go. All righty. Yeah, if you just do it, it's the top 2 tier tier Patreons. The dollar one's just like, yeah, no, that's the appreciation one. So there you go. Published it right now. So let's see these guys start coming on in. All right, there you go. Vodka stream was 6 hours. Yeah, it was 6 hours. Hey, it happens. It happens. You know, we had both of the Colberts on. Of course, it's gonna happen. Nah, I mean, it was just the conversation just doesn't stop. You know, and then finally it just kind of gets to a point of like, all right, I'm feeling sleepy. I was getting sleepy. So, you know, but you know, it was it's always a lot of fun. And it always flows too. Like it didn't feel like 6 hours. Never feels like 6 hours. So, you know, I'm always just I'm all about it. I'm all about the heavy conversations, various ones, even if it's not the main conversation, you know? All right. We got Mr. Philip and we got Mr. Eric. What is happening, guys?
Hey, guys. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Same shit, different day.
Nice shirt, though. I like that two-tone Batman shirt.
So, funny story about this shirt. I actually had to go into a kids section to get it and guided me.
Oh, wow. Man. That's hilarious. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it looks like it fits you good, so nothing wrong with that. So what we got here? What do you guys? You got wine there, Philip?
Carlo Rossi, my cheap wine.
Rossi. There you go. What do you got there, Eric?
All right, I got something special. Now, tell me if you've heard about this or not yet, because it seems to be pretty recent. Nitro Pepsi.
No.
All right.
Nitro Pepsi. Wow.
It's a little. It's very interesting because like it says nitrogen infused cola instead of like the typical carbonation. Like it says smaller bubbles, smoother taste. It is very smooth. I gotta say because it's unique, it's interesting, it's different, but it's very good. By the way, I got a kick out of it comes in packs of 4, and the box here has a picture of it in a glass, and right next to it it says glass not included. I was like, the box is open. You kind of know, but whatever.
They have to do that because some idiot, was like, well, where's the glass? Where's the glass?
Yeah, but by the way, if you ever try it out, because it comes in 2 flavors right now. It's just regular Pepsi or this one, which is the vanilla draft. It's draft Pepsi. But vanilla, a little word of warning. The first time you try it, and from that point on, no matter, even if you handle it very well when you bring it in or whatever, whenever you open it, there's always some compacted air inside, so that when you open it, it will fizz out and some bubbles will come out. So have it hiss a little bit like that, and then when it comes out, make sure you sip it right away. And then you open it all the way.
Fancy. Nitro Pepsi. I wonder if any of the other Coca-Cola companies are going to be probably taking on that, because I never heard of Nitro Pepsi. I heard like there's like a Dr. Pepper berry that's coming out.
I've been looking for that. I've been looking for that because I want to try that.
Yeah, it's like dark berry or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's always funny though when I see like a sponsored ad from like some influencer and they're just like, "Oh my god, I've been trying to try this," and I'm like, "Shut up, you're being paid for it."
But, by the way, Dave, speaking of influencer, like when that link in the Q&A, like this week, they're like, "No, I'm not interested in being that influencer for Warner Bros. Discovery." And I was like, "You do get paid for it, apparently." So at least that's what I was hearing.
What are you talking about? I already get paid by Warner Brothers, Eric. What are you talking about? That's the word on the digital streets.
Yeah, but in this case, instead of you're being influenced by them, which is the allegations against you, you influence them, right?
Oh, you've got allegations against you too, Dave. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw yours, Philip. The other, yeah, that was a little different. It's like
true.
Whoa, yeah, that was interesting. I was like, what the heck's going on with that? And then because the other person in question, I also have them, and it was kind of like you guys had screenshots of each other. I'm like, wait, did they not? Oh, they're blocked. They're both blocked. Like, but it was interesting, and I was like, what the hell?
This is nonsensical bullshit.
And I'm like, I know you two. I know Phil Moore, so I don't think that was what you're. Anyways,
it was just
my business. What seriously, like what Discovery was saying, like in that little, like if you want to be an influencer. So I checked it out for myself, and apparently, like and I was kind of weirded out by the questions like, have you watched, like, do you watch, Discovery on a regular basis? Do you watch this? Do you watch that? And it says everything but HBO Max. I was like, why?
Interesting.
Well, the only thing I would be watching that you guys have right now is HBO Max. Why not bring up HBO Max since you guys own it now?
Yeah, that's weird.
Be an influencer, I could be an influencer if you're talking about HBO Max, but you're talking about everything but
HBO Max. That's weird. That's weird. All right, we got Carrie and we got Mr. Jose showing up. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Howdy,
Hey.
howdy.
Okay. How about them Dodgers, huh?
Hey, they won today. How about them Red Sox?
But
they lost.
the bad thing about that though is like it was Kershaw's day yesterday. But at least you got to see that, right?
Don't remind me.
I know, man. I saw your tweet, and then I saw it, and then of course Ray, of course, who's a Tigers fan, he tweeted out. I was like, oh shit, 5-1, and it was Kershaw's night. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pitchers they brought in after were just like they just didn't have it at all.
What was the
usually
score
on.
when they took him out? What was the score when they took
It
him
was
out?
tied. It was tied 1-1.
Oh, wow.
And then honestly, I think I went to go pee or something, and I didn't even know that Kershaw was out of the game. And I was like, uh-oh. As soon as it happened, I was like, I have a bad feeling. And then they bring in, I don't know, they got a couple of hits, and then they bring in Gratterall. And I was talking to my friend. I was like, because he came out to the Undertaker's theme music, and I was like, oh shit. And then he fucked up, and I was like, yeah, Undertaker my ass. I was like, gave up the lead, and then they bring in another dude who gets another hit, and I was like, oh. And they kept piling on, and I was like, nah, it's over. Let's go home. It was like the 8th inning. I was like, if they score 2 here, maybe they got a chance. They didn't. I was like, all right, let's go. It's over. Yeah.
Man, that sucks. But hey, at least you got to witness some history and mad respect.
Man, it was
mad respect. Yeah,
it was so loud in there, and
I'm sure
we kept getting up every time he was close. We kept getting up, and every time, and it was like a slow dribbler out, and we're like and then we had to sit back down, and then he finally got it, and it was just like it was crazy. It was so loud in there.
Yeah, I saw the clips, and I saw it's just funny because you want to keep your composure because he wants to, obviously he's still pitching the game, but it's like, he's like holding back, and it's like, oh, I got to raise my hat, got to do that, and that's that. You could see like right away, it's like, how do I act? What am I supposed to do right now? What the, because if you do like a home run, you can easily just trot the bases, raise your helmet, get back in the dugout, and you're fine. But it's like, dude, he still has to pitch like another batter right after that. There was a really cool shot that someone took where it showed like the banner of like of what he just accomplished. And it was like perfectly centered with him like right in the middle. It was cool.
Yeah, it was on the big screen. So like I had my phone recording Kershaw, and then I panned over because it was to the left of me because I was sitting in the pavilion. Which, by the way, I want to sit there every game from now on. That's so cool right there because they built all that new stuff right there.
It's
pavilion.
Cool if you're a Dodgers fan.
I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but I mean, Dodger Stadium I think is the best stadium in the whole world. Not that I'm biased.
Not that you're biased. No, I mean, like it could be pretty. I mean, the last time we went, it was me, my brother, my nephew, my mom. We were in the pavilion, and I mean, it's usually cool. I've been fucked with other times by drunken Dodger fans, but usually it's all good. I know. It's walking into the lion's den. I mean, it's part of it, but at the same time, it's usually cool, like all around. Like people are just, and we'll fucking talk shit, but it's never.
We see a Tigers fan like every 20 years. We're not gonna mess with them. They're like whatever. And there were a couple out there, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yankee Stadium is the one that is the stadium that everyone knows about. That's the one that people think about when they think of the great.
Yeah. Well, it's new. It's not even the old.
It's not even the Yankee Stadium anymore.
It's not even the Yankee Stadium.
What happened
to the Yankees? Did you guys see what happened in the game like last week with them? The Yankee fans?
Oh yeah, there was a fight, right?
They started
throwing shit at Cleveland. Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Dude, I know. I watched the recap on John Boy Media, and he was so like he was just talking all kinds of shit. He's like, "This is ridiculous," because he's a Yankees fan.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, and he just was like, "This is not part of the game. This is disappointing. Don't do this." I mean, they even had like Aaron Judge and some of the other guys coming out there going, "Whoa, guys, what are you doing? Why are you throwing trash at these players?" It was, that's not.
You know,
That's
it's
not
sad
cool.
because it just takes one idiot. It just takes
No,
one idiot, and
yep.
then everybody else will follow along.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Anyways, let me say hi to the chat because they're messing with me in the chat.
Of
What's
course,
up, chat?
of course. We got Joey out there. We got everybody.
Don't want me to show my. I told you guys I can't show my face, okay?
Yeah,
Because I'm
not
like
as
laying.
pretty.
I'm laying down. If I have the
It
phone
means he's
on, I'm like, I'm
naked.
gonna
He's
smack myself
naked.
in the face.
Yeah, he's.
You know
yeah,
when you like have the phone on and you're laying in bed and you smack yourself in the face with it?
Yeah, that's
That
what
would
he
be
does.
me like 10 times.
Yeah, we are not quite at the level of Dave right now where we can go shirtless
Yeah.
on camera.
No, but my
Not
my
yet.
picture.
Now,
I
I'm
don't know if
trying.
you guys.
I'm trying. You can see I'm
The picture's
trying.
good.
I
So,
don't know if you guys can see my picture. It's in honor of something we're, because we're gonna talk about him later on.
Is that Jay Oliva right there?
That's Slay Oliva slapping
Yeah.
a hater on Twitter.
yeah, it's pretty inevitable because, like, Dave, when you kept saying, "Oh, we'll talk about it tomorrow," I was like, Dave, you do realize we have a live stream tonight, right? We're going to.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, but I mean, not everybody, is going to be present for all that.
What
but
up?
yeah,
What up, legend? I see you, legend.
Yeah.
What up, legend?
I wonder who Jay Olive is smacking in that picture, but I've got a person in mind.
Yeah, how much time do you got?
There's a few people he could be smacking
through.
around.
This is true.
Cool.
Carrie's right.
Yeah, that is very true. But yeah, I mean, he was posting all day today, and it was just like cool. And I'm, part of me was going like, oh, what if he posts something like different, like a deleted scene or something like that? And then he just straight up goes like, oh well, how about this?
Yeah.
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 I'm taking a Twitter break until I see Multiverse of Madness, but I did see this in passing. This is actually pretty cool.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's right, huh? Because watch out for those leaks. I already got spoiled. I got spoiled by something already. Like, we won't talk about it though. Oh yeah, I got.
So we're
spoiled.
gonna talk about the leak, right? We're gonna talk.
We could talk about it, but let's not talk about what it is, though. I don't want to
cover your ears.
anybody.
Yeah, please
cover
don't.
your ears, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Earmuffs. Yeah, don't. We won't talk about it. Let's talk about this.
It's not that shocking. Let's just say
it's
that.
not that.
It's
Yeah,
not that
true.
shocking.
It's not. I thought it was going to be something else when I first heard about it, and then it was that. I went, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew Tom Cruise was gonna.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, like, this is when he posted it, I was like, oh, it's cool, and I went, wait a minute, what the fuck? I mean, that's not. Wait a minute, that wasn't in Zack Snyder's Justice League with like the full-on sword. Oh my God, there's a reflection of Batman right here. Oh, and then he said that the internet not ready. I'm wondering when Joe Mang is gonna retweet this. Has he retweeted it yet? I wonder. I don't think so.
Oh, just wait till he does.
Yeah, I don't think he
Probably,
has.
if they're planning something, it's probably like Jay Lee was like, let me sprinkle this right here on the timeline, real quick. Let it marinate, and then Joe, you'll come in later on, maybe like tomorrow or something.
Yeah, tomorrow he'll retweet it, put it on his
days,
Instagram.
and you'll post something. It's like, man.
Yeah, it's gonna.
But
It's
hopefully it's not animation, so he doesn't get canceled. 'Cause everybody
That's
wants
what he
live
does.
action only.
I know, right? I know. I was kind of talking about that with Scott. I mean, and I'm talking about it with other people, and I've said it before, and of course, people don't. There will be obviously some backlash, but I'm like, if we absolutely cannot get the live action, what's to say a fucking animated series that shows the conclusion of this with Jay Oliva at the helm and everybody coming back to supply their voices. I mean, if we absolutely cannot get the live action, that's when it is. And it's like, there's anybody got an issue with that? I don't think anybody will.
Not at all. And I think it'd be really cool because there's been a precedence for Batman versus Deathstroke in the comic books. Like there's so much material you could pull from. And on top of that, like Jay Oliver worked on this project with Ben and Joe, so you could easily kind of maybe mesh the two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool.
The thing is because like the Batman, like the Ben Affleck Batman story is a quote unquote spinoff. It's rather like, with Clone Wars, like Clone Wars is like a peer generated animated spinoff of the live action Star Wars. So on that note, we can more easily accept that. It's just like Justice League 2 and 3. We would much rather prefer live action, obviously. It's less harder to accept that being animated because Justice League 1 was live action.
True. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Carrie?
about the whole animated Justice League sequels possibility,
or like just even the if Ben Affleck's Batman movie ended up being.
I mean,
any of them, I guess you could say.
If it comes down to that's the best we can hope for, then of course I'll watch it and enjoy it and take it as it is. It's just one of those things where it's not full pushback to what you're saying, Dave, because I basically in essence agree. It's just sort of like, yeah, to me at least, there's just always something in my brain where like live action is always almost automatically better than animation, no matter what, even though animation can always be excellent quality and everything like that. So it's just one of those things that's like not quite on the level as a live action thing. So it's like, you can still sort of take it or leave it as you wish. So it's the kind of thing like it's. I hate to say it this way. It would feel like to me at least, it would feel like a consolation prize as opposed to like the real thing. But that's just.
Yeah, for me, look, if we want to do animated, look, I love for me it'd be just a question of style, like what style animation are we going for? Because look, I love the Bruce Timm style, like Batman, Superman, or Justice League Unlimited. I love that style, but the animated movies that happened afterwards, for many years afterwards, that were with the quasi anime, where like the very rough, kind of faces, I was like, I've never really liked. It's like they're trying too hard to be anime looking, but not really. Or like nowadays, where it's like the whole like the Archer kind of like look. I don't really care for that. It's like, okay, really, it's just this is just me. I'm maybe kind of anal as far as it has to look beautiful. As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to go animated, it has to be worthy of being part of that Snyderverse. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Well,
it would have to look really distinct and have its own unique type of animation that is like very fluid and maybe anime-ish. I mean, I'm not an anime aficionado by any means, but like, neither am I. It would just have to look like it has like good, like really good quality animation and some. I mean, we'll see what the Army of the Dead Las Vegas series looks like, and if that turns out to be something really.
And even the Norse God stuff that Jay is working with. So that's always one of the things I've been pondering. Like, even though we saw like a little screenshot that Zach showed, but I'm kind of wondering what all is Jay also a part of that too, or is it just the Norse God stuff? He's not a part of it. Is he part of Las Vegas?
I have no idea. He could easily be one of the storyboard people on it.
I think he's directing 2 episodes. Yeah, that's right. He is directing 2 episodes. Yeah. I think he's in, because I think Zach is directing a couple episodes and he's directing a couple episodes, and there's like 6 episodes. Not sure who's directing the rest of them, but I think both of them are directing 2 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. But
I will say amongst the DC animated films, I think the ones that Jay Oliva typically directs are usually the better of them. I think at least animation quality is top notch, and he does incredible action sequences. There's always feel like really they're very riveting and a good motion and stuff like that. So I think if anyone's going to make it look really really good, it would be Jay Oliva for sure.
According to the official wiki for Army of the Dead, Las Vegas is being created by Zack Snyder and Jay Oliva, and it looks.
Is it Oliva or Oliva?
I'm pretty sure it's Oliva.
Okay,
I think he's clarified his last name is pronounced Oliva, but it looks like him and Zach are directing a couple episodes. I don't know if there's anyone else doing it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think if Jay was still like directing the movies in the universe for the animated ones, Apocalypse War would have been way better because he probably would have had more action in there because it's so quick, like how Superman just tells a story about what happened, how they get defeated. Like that could be a whole movie right there.
Movie itself, right there. Oh yeah.
I think if Jay was there behind that, he probably would have like stretched it out a little more. So because that was one of the biggest complaints for me. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way about how they wish there was more to that. Losing to Darkseid battle instead of just a flashback, real quick story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like with animation, that's the only problem is
because I agree with Kerry that Jay the movies because he did Flashpoint, Paradise, Justice League War,
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns. Those movies are like.
Well,
they're
yeah, I've
legendary.
been saying like how I've been rewatching all weekend Young Justice, and that animation's great too, and the action's great. Everything's like, pretty fantastic when it comes to that. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, so if there was going to be any more Snyderverse that ends up being animation, I just hope Jay Oliva's like totally 100% at the helm and doing it when I think he would totally do it, and he's already done so much work for it that he would jump at the opportunity. But fuck.
It kind of feels a little shitty to be like saying, okay, worst comes to worst, well, let's get animation, because the animation is so great, because these people are so talented. The artists are so talented and the storytellers are so talented, but we'd love to see that, of course, but no, we want to see live action. We want to see this in live action.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say earlier, like if they can make a Wonder Twins movie, but I guess that's not happening anymore. Did you guys see that?
As I said, Jose, the spin-off stuff that's not like the specific central movies, I'm sure, if you go like animation, absolutely, like Clone Wars or Rebels.
Well, yeah, because Joe Mang was always saying when we were talking about the movie, he would say, well, like, $60-70 million movie, like 80 something minutes, like, like an hour and 30 minutes, like quick Deathstroke origin movie. Like, how can you not? Okay, let's do it. Like, they gave 70 mil to Zach to fix, VFX.
Yeah.
And then you can make a whole movie with that.
Yeah, it does seem like a no-brainer.
A Deathstroke series, you could easily do that relatively low budget compared to a lot of stuff. It would probably have the same production value as like Tokyo Vice or something like that, and that looks really dang good. So.
Yeah, just give me a series, because then you have 6-8 episodes to get this whole story. It's like a 6-8 hour movie, basically.
Hey, and honestly, like that's where you like this is what made HBO Max so perfect. We talked about this a million times. You could do like the Batman versus Deathstroke as a miniseries on HBO Max. You could do the Atom, Dr. Ryan Choi and his The Atom on HBO Max. You could do you could do a whole lot of other things. Like you could
just say you want a Lois Lane series. It's okay. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you, Eric. I'm with you. I would love an Amy Adams Lois Lane series. I'm okay with that.
And honestly, I actually was not going to bring that up until you said it, but there you go. I was thinking about. Okay,
I knew it was there. I knew it was there because of your love for me.
But I could also do, of course. And honestly, she is a six-time Academy Award nominee. So, so putting her on the shelf like they have is just stupid. She's an Oscar nominee. What the hell is your problem? But there's also like Martian Manhunter. Like, and I've talked about this a lot. Like the perfect miniseries idea for Martian Manhunter is that the framing story is Lois going to him after the events of the first movie, confronting him, and then he tells her his story as like, and she like make it one of her like the Daily Planet specials, like the story with Martian Manhunter. She doesn't say who it is, but that'd be the perfect kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Would Jimmy Olsen be in it?
Here's the thing.
The real Jimmy Olsen.
And I know Zach has said that that agent his name is Jimmy Olsen, although like here's the thing. She knows he's CIA. Like from the very beginning, like where he introduces himself, her first remark is, "Where's Huron?" Like, and that's like obviously Huron is not someone's name. And then later on they say like he has a code named Talon. So she knows she's working CIA. So honestly, it was setting up the perfect idea that Jimmy Olsen photographer is the go-to cover name for whatever CIA agent, whether Huron or whoever is working with Lois. They say, "Oh, I'm Jimmy Olsen photographer." So any CIA agent from this point on can meet up with Lois and say, "I'm Jimmy Olsen," and then he goes out, they interact, and whenever anyone asks, he's Jimmy Olsen photographer. So it just bring a new guy in and have him be the classic Jimmy Olsen photographer, and he's a CIA agent.
You can do that. Yeah.
There could also just be another guy who happens to also be named Jimmy Olsen.
James. Jamie
I've never
Olsen.
met at least two different people who are not related who have the same last name,
Here's
Olsen.
another thing.
And
Here's another
Jimmy's a
thing.
really common name, so it's not like
Yeah.
outlandish just to say
You know what?
it's another guy named Jimmy Olsen. That it
But
happens.
here's
John's-
another thing.
How many
Like,
John Smiths are there?
and honestly, like
Right.
the communication watch of the comics that Jimmy Olsen always has with Superman, that is the perfect. A perfect explanation for that is that's a CIA communications gadget. Like,
Mhm.
there's Jim, and he gives one of these watches to Lois. He gives another one to Clark Kent because wink, wink.
He knows.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many things I could do without all that.
No,
but
no,
But there's
no,
one
no,
question though.
Oh,
One
what's
question
that,
though.
Oh.
no,
We
I
were
was gonna say that I wish I could hear that phone call Zach made to that dude, the actor. He's like, "Hey, dude, like I want you to be in my movie, man." He's like, "Oh, hell yeah, bro. What do you want me to do?" So you're gonna be Jimmy Olsen. Oh shit, no, with Jimmy Olsen? Yeah, you're gonna get shot in the fucking face. I was like, oh.
Well, remember, he also called that guy up again too to be in Army of the Dead.
You're gonna get,
right.
yeah, you're gonna get your
Where-
head bit off by a zombie.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're gonna get killed in the beginning, and apparently, like the shoot ended up lasting longer than they expected it because I think it was because of because I mean this is what way Zach is, and of course it's beautiful, but it does take a lot of time. It's like that opening scene is like at dusk. It's at a certain time,
Mhm.
and you only have a certain time frame to film, so that's why that whole sequence took like over 2 weeks to do or almost a month to do because he wanted that lighting for it all. And yeah, you only have like probably if I don't know, like a half-hour window to shoot in that kind of lighting. I don't know.
Which one
Yeah.
is he? Which one is he in Army of the Dead?
He's
in the very
one of the
beginning.
dudes. Yeah, in the armored
Was your-
truck. In the armored
He's
truck.
the guy that's riding shotgun in the truck.
Yeah,
Did your feed mess up or was it just mine right now?
I think it was just yours. I think we're
All
good.
of your screens just like started doing the little loading thing.
No,
That's you.
I can see
You're
each
good.
other.
That's you, buddy.
Oh, it's my Wi-Fi. Okay.
But here's just one question though about Zach as Cassie. Okay, because we've been talking a lot because you've been bringing this up a lot, Dave, about how Zach brought back Amber Heard to do the additional photography, apparently
Uh-oh.
to give Hamada the finger. And I'm just gotta say, Zach, you regret that?
Wait, what?
Well, no. I mean, it was like it was a speculation. I wasn't saying that was actually the case.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
just kind of like it was like all right. So when people were going like, well, why would Zach bring her back? And then I was just kind of like, it was one of those things where, you know, even just talking to some people, I'm like, well, what if like, you know, he wanted to actually have another character that was in the nightmare world, and you know, Mira seems like a good choice, definitely does. But of course,
Right.
there's always like the you know, it was already brewing up of what was going on with Amber Heard, and then of course when you heard that Hamada apparently, you know, said that one of the reasons why they didn't want to bring her back for Aquaman 2 is because of the chemistry, but it wasn't the greatest chemistry between, and I think it was a little more than that. You know,
I
there's
don't
other
get that
things
at all.
behind the scenes. I know you don't. But I think there's a little bit. I think that was more of an excuse of things behind the scenes when it came to that. So then I was like, well, what if like one of the reasons why he was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have Mira because it works with the story, and you know, fuck these guys. I don't like any of these guys, and they probably pushed back against having Amber Heard come back, and he was like, no, we're gonna do this. I mean, they pushed back against him. They didn't want the additional photography, first of all, and they wanted him to wrap. They wanted to take out the ending Darkseid scene because they wanted it to be wrapped up and be done with. But he's like, no, this is the way it ends. Sorry, I'm not going to change it.
And Zach is one who he gets along really well with all the actors he casts. And even if Amber Heard was a casting choice made for him and not by him, he probably got along with her well enough.
Oh yeah,
while
I'm
we
sure.
were shooting,
Well,
and she,
Debbie,
you know,
asked
had no real qualms about bringing her back for the additional photography.
Well, remember, he cast her for Justice League, and then James Wan was the one who inherited Aquaman and Mara for the Aquaman movie.
Yep.
So again, to me, I kind of just chalk it up as continuity. Obviously, everything that's going on now between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is blown to shit.
Yeah,
But
literally.
you know, literally, right? Yeah.
You know what?
And-
You know what? No, go ahead, Eric.
Imagine if Zach's next film he cast Johnny Depp. Just saying.
I don't know if he'll do that.
See, that's the
I don't either.
thing.
Well, we already know his next film is, what he's doing now, and then of course Planet. I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
watching. There was an interview with Debbie, promoting the movie, and I forgot who it was, but they were talking about the nightmare scene, and she went on, and she was like, "Well, we love Amber. It was great being with her and seeing her, and Ray, and Ezra was on Zoom, and blah blah blah." And it's not like, I mean, okay, well, you love Amber. I guess you love Amber. They probably do support her. It's kind of a tough situation for them, but this whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing is so
Honestly,
fucking wild.
it comes down to context. And honestly, the whole shit between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is a public matter about their personal life. Their personal life has no fucking bearing on their work schedule. What they do at work is what they do at work. And Amber Heard is an actress. She's not a bad actress, not by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm sure that Zach and Debbie probably had a wonderful time working with her. And I'm sure she's lovely on other sets, but I can't speak for sure because I don't know.
Yeah.
As for Johnny Depp, it's been on good record that dude's been drunk half the time in half the movies he's been in.
That's the thing that trips me out about this, because Johnny Depp's fans are so. Every fan, I guess, a lot of celebrities.
Oh yeah, whoever's like,
stan. Because there's just so.
Right.
This man is not 100% a saint and squeaky clean. And they refuse, and it's like his fans refuse to see it. Even like, okay, like he made a mistake before, but like everything he's done, no, it's not true. It's not true. It's fake. It's not true. He's not like that. He's a fucking angel.
That's that confirmation bias. Yeah.
And it's
Here's the thing. Look, I would be perfectly on board with what you guys are saying. It's just the fact that Johnny Depp had lost all the roles that he was working on because of this, and Amber Heard wasn't. Now, if Depp had been kept and Amber had been kept, okay, fine. I'd be even fine with that. If he'd stayed on for Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever, fine. But all I know is he was thrown to the wolves before the trial even started.
Yeah.
And everyone, and then the studios were all on Amber's side. But if they had just kept both on their projects, then fine. I would have perfectly accepted it. But no, they had to get rid of them.
Like the whole point of the lawsuit, without really getting too into the weeds of it, is like it's a defamation suit. Like, so the whole thing is like Johnny Depp's basically saying like, hey, because of the article that Amber wrote, even though she didn't name me, it basically canceled my whole career and ended a whole bunch of roles. So it's not the issue isn't really the point of the trial was not to demonstrate how bad the marriage was. The point of the trial is saying like he got swept up in the whole being kind of like a target of the Me Too movement when he probably should not have been in the first place. That's saying he's a good guy, but like because he's even on trial, he admitted to like taking drugs and getting drunk and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So he's owning up to his mistakes, but he's also trying to say like, I got to share my side of the story and do it in a way that is above board. And a defamation trial is so. Even if he loses the lawsuit, at least this is probably at least a PR move for him to at least get his side of the story out there. So.
No, the thing is, it's completely different things. The reason why he got fired from Fantastic Beasts is because of what happened in the UK with the Sun, with the newspaper. They made a whole I don't know, the front page thing calling him a wife beater. Yep. So he sued them to not call him, because they called him a wife beater, and he lost that. Yep. After he lost that case, because they were like, you can't call. Well, Johnny Depp was basically like, you can't call me a wife beater, and the Sun was like, well, we have all this evidence of that there were 12 incidents where there was like domestic violence that happened. We have the records, we have the evidence. You are a wife beater. So the court was like, well, the newspaper is in the right. So he lost that case. After he lost that, that's when he got fired from, because now he's labeled this wife beater. Then Amber Heard does this whole, this op-ed or whatever in the Washington Post.
Right.
And
I thought that came before.
And now he's suing. And now he's no. This came after. This is afterwards, where she doesn't even say his name. Like you said, which is true. But now he's suing because. Which is everyone's assuming
funny
he's
too,
talking about
because
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, because like other lawyers that I've heard on podcasts, they even say like this is really nothing here, because you can't just feel, you know, she didn't say the name, and it's like this whole thing, to be honest, this whole thing is like, I mean, the fact that it's on TV, I mean, it's very much just like,
and he asked for that. He's the one that wanted.
Oh
this.
yeah,
He
he's trying to clear up his name. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, and that's why I can't take sides on this either thing. Even though it's like, when it comes to this, I mean, Amber Heard's lawyer is a fucking moron. That's for damn sure.
She just fired her PR team.
And honestly, how badly Amber's side is doing really just makes the Sun and that judge that ruled in the Sun's favor look bad too, because it looks like this evidence turns out it looks more and more like BS because Amber's lawyers are just so bad.
Yeah, see, that's the thing though. Like, I don't know if it. I honestly don't know if her lawyer is that bad. I don't know. I just.
Are you kidding me? He objected to his own question.
Well, not. She doesn't have just one lawyer. First.
Yeah, I know.
And then because there was
isn't he like the lead guy on it?
Yeah.
There was There was a woman that was questioning that. I don't know if you guys saw that psychologist or therapist, whatever the hell she is, who isn't even certified. By the way, she says she's not certified. And she was at Johnny Depp's house before the trial and all this because, you know, before they got her to be a witness, she was at his house, you know, having drinks, dinner, and all that stuff. You know, that doesn't, I mean, some people were like, that's not a big deal. But, I mean, if you're testifying in a case, you know, for someone and you're all buddy-buddy with them at the house.
You're being talked to by the attorneys. The attorneys were the ones talking to her on that.
Right, and it's like she says, it's just this whole thing, dude. Because there's Amber Heard supporters. Like, believe it or not, there are.
Yes, there is one here on
there's Amber Heard supporters because they, you know, and they've done their whole. It's like a back and forth with them and the Johnny Depp fans of who can post the most receipts. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make Johnny look good, and his fans just don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it.
Again,
he's on tape. I mean, he's on tape admitting that he's well. And the whole thing, what is the one thing that gets spread around everywhere with Amber Heard? The one thing that people are like, well, that's all I need to hear because that's all it takes. About the video where she's like, oh yeah, tell them, Johnny, tell them blah blah blah. You know that video has been like edited. There's honestly there's a version of it. First of all, people, it's like a Mandela effect thing. People think she says I Johnny Depp, a man, and she doesn't say that. She says Johnny Depp, and she pauses. Man, like she said, man, I'm something like she's saying it like that, and people have been just spreading that she says Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim of domestic violence, and that's not even what she says.
All right,
but I think the whole thing is like the fact that it's like, no, nobody's gonna believe you because, well, I mean, because that's part of like how we are right now. It's like sometimes that's the case. Like, especially nowadays, it's like they're not gonna believe you because who's gonna believe that you were part of abuse and blah blah blah, but I mean, but when it comes to the whole thing, it's like, yeah, both sides. That's why I always try to be like, all right, I can't really take anybody's side, but I mean, this case is of course making one side look a little better than the other, sure, but at the same time, it's almost like it was crafted to be like that. Like you said, it's like on TV the way but then she's supposed to testify next week, and we'll see how the pendulum swings, now when it comes to her now up on the stand and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just a literal shit show.
As I've been saying on this stream, I've been saying, look, I would be the first to say, look, just stand back. Let's just not care about this. If the studios had not automatically taken a side from the beginning, but again, the studios have been giving Amber Heard, all these roles, and these roles, we kept her on Aquaman, but Disney booted him from Pirates. Is that in particular? And as Johnny Depp says, it said in the trial, look, I wasn't even informed by Disney that we were done. I had to read about it in the news, on the papers, and they didn't even talk to me about it, and they're still using my likeness. And that's why he said, I don't want to. They paid me $300 million. I wouldn't work
in Disney, right? Yeah,
Disney, yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of cool though. How he said that, even if they offer me $300 million. I love how he talked. Like,
I would say
that this case would probably be not lasting as long if Johnny Depp could actually talk a little bit faster. Sometimes
also,
I'm like,
come on, man. I would say this. $300 million, like that's a little specific, Johnny. All right, well, if they offered more,
that much. Fuck
also,
that.
when it comes to like when it comes to stuff like this, like a trial like this, we got to remember these are actors.
Yep.
Johnny Depp could be up there thinking he's on
Oh
a
yeah,
fucking
I
movie
said that
role.
too. I'm like, he's putting up. He
It's
could be
really hard to be,
funny.
they're being very sincere. These are actors. These are
I
trained
know.
people that are trained to, how to act in certain situations. Like,
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's really tough. Like, I mean, like I said, Johnny Depp could be like, this is my research for my next role. I'm gonna be in a movie in a court case. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's all
And it
crazy.
also
But
comes down to a popularity contest. Like every single thing in life comes down. Because imagine, what if this was Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie? Do you think there would be so many people hating on Angelina Jolie?
that's the next one. That's going to be Brad Pitt versus Angelina.
Well, she
Yeah,
did, didn't she?
more than
Didn't she
likely.
say something about? She said something about him, right?
Who?
About
Johnny Depp?
Brad. No, Angelina. She like accused Brad of Brad Pitt or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Or,
Oh yeah, about being like angry and blah 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 and this and this. But I don't think it went anywhere with that. So.
yeah, the girl did.
Human
That's
fecal
nice.
matter. Yes. All right, let's get off the whole Johnny Depp and stuff like that. I think let's talk about CinemaCon. I wanted to like get your guys' what at CinemaCon stood out for you guys this week, because obviously that was like the main thing. I mean, obviously first day was Sony, which was I mean, I know we're all excited for El Muerto. Am I saying that right?
El Muerto.
Sony.
El Muerto. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say there was a hot minute between when Venom turned out to be a success and then Into the Spider-Verse came out and was well received. There was a moment where we'd be like, Sony's got Spider-Man figured out now. They can do this. They can run the solo Spider-Man movies just fine without Marvel. And then you hear this news. I'm like, yeah, I never trusted Sony to handle the Spider-Man franchise at all, and I still haven't seen Morbius. I don't think I'll wait.
Dude, I mean, Morbius, and then what they did with Keaton in Morbius, they flat out was like, all right, what we had before, get rid of that. We're gonna do this different thing, and it was so half-assed.
Why would
that's unfortunate?
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Because Sony, or is it like test screenings, or like why the hell did they do that?
I don't know.
The biggest issue at Sony, there's one name you can point to, and when it comes to Spider-Man, especially Avi Arad.
When they thanked him, when they had that big thank you to him at the end of No Way Home in the credits, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Who's again?
No.
Avi Arad. He was like the producer of all the
Raimi
movies.
He probably was the guy that had brought aboard Raimi and Tobey Maguire.
Well, no, he's been producing Spider-Man since the animated series. Him and Stan Lee were executive producers on the animated series.
Yep.
So he's like Spider-Man gold in a way, but not really.
Probably Feige throwing him a bone to sort of.
You guys know how Michael Uslan is a main producer on anything Batman related?
Yeah.
That's
same kind of situation with Arad and Spider-Man. It's the same kind of concept.
Superman.
Who?
Or John Peters with Superman.
Oh God.
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
Yeah, we all just remember that Kevin Smith thing.
I can't wait for the El Muerto trailer that shows Morbius and then he's not in the movie. And
Oh, you mean Kraven the Hunter? Because he'll probably be in it too.
Oh God, Kraven!
Oh, man.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
I mean, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. I dig it, and of course we saw those set photos, and it was like, all right, cool. He's there. He is.
Well, for as much crap as the DCU gets for like, people saying it's a mess and this and that and whatnot, like at least, even if these, I'm not saying they're true, these rumors about that the continuation is going to be, Batgirl and Supergirl. Okay, fine. If that's going to happen, that's going to happen. But then you go to Sony. Who the fuck is the Spider-Man? Doesn't even know who the Spider-Man is. And you got all these Kraven the Hunter. You got Madam Web coming out. Who is the Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like the fact that you remember like in Venom and in Morbius, the fact that the Daily Bugle is a news magazine as opposed to it's not a newspaper, so it's not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And it's not an online Alex Jones kind of thing, so it's not the MCU, and obviously. So by default, if it were a pre-established Spider-Man, it would be Andrew Garfield. But then Andrew said he's taking a break. But how long is that?
Yeah, but I mean, everybody freaked out about that too, and it was funny because, I mean, it's like everybody was making it. I even saw people saying like he retired. I'm like, what? He didn't retire. He said taking a break. Yeah, and then he went on. I guess he was on the View. He was on the View like the next day, and they asked him about that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw like a lot of people were thinking that I'm taking like this big huge break." I'm like, "It's only gonna be for a little bit." I'm like, "Yeah, the guy." He had to go like a full year doing interviews promoting movies to lie and say that he was not in Spider-Man No Way Home constantly, and then finally do that press stuff or that whole hoopla came out, and then he was still going with Tick Tick Boom and like doing that whole campaign. The guy's exhausted, man. I mean, and then he like has this mini series that just came out, which that's what I love, is the fact that he's doing he went back to the Spider-Man thing. He did a Netflix movie, got nominated for Academy Award, and now he's doing a mini series on FX. I'm like, I love the fact that he's just all over the place, but that he need to take a break. Yeah. And good for him.
Let me do a little poll right here. Uh-oh. What would you rather have his next big role be? Amazing Spider-Man 2 or a werewolf film?
Well, he already did Amazing Spider-Man
2. Three, you mean? 3.
Amazing Spider-Man 3 or a werewolf film?
A werewolf film? I'd rather have him. I know, I get what you're trying to say there, but I'm like, yeah, I'd rather, yeah.
But
I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, these movies, like the big movies, like Spider-Man movies, will take forever. I mean, and I hope that we do get more of him. I know a lot of people are like, man, he watched Morbius, and that's and now he doesn't want to do it anymore. I'm like, that's pretty funny, but at the same time, I'm kind of going, all right,
not that bad.
I think he'll do. I mean, but the thing is, though, it won't exactly be the Amazing Spider-Man 3, and I've always had that question of like. Remember what they were trying to establish with those first 2 movies? They were really trying to get the Sinister Six, and they had this whole deep story with Peter Parker and his father, and that deleted scene, which is an excellent deleted scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when they're at the graveyard, and his father shows up. It's really great, but it's like, how do you continue doing that? Almost 8 years later.
Plus all the scenes setting, all the deleted scenes about his MJ. Like, that would be too. Honestly, look, they should either do like somebody should either release an extended cut, a director's cut, extended cut of Amazing Spider-Man 2 with all those put in, or they should, redo those films, those kinds of scenes in the next movie, or use it in something.
I'll say this, even though I'm not a fan of the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, Shailene Woodley was pitch perfect casting as Mary Jane. So if they bring her back for a third one, I'm in.
Oh, and other people brought up, it would be pretty nice considering how this whole like multiverse thing is being played now. It would be fun if in his next, if they do an Amazing Spider-Man 3, he encounters from another universe Spider-Gwen.
That's what a lot of people are talking about too. Is like that would be a cool little reunion of like, oh yeah, and that's why I think I've even said that too. Is like, don't since it's all scrapped what they were trying to accomplish when it came to his Spider-Man. Well, just have him. All right, he's back in his own universe. He knows about the multiverse. He knows that this could happen, and then he kind of goes, well, what if there's a way that I can get Gwen back? And then of course, and something happens where Spider-Gwen shows up and it's Emma Stone. And I think a lot of people, even though that's, even though they're not dating anymore.
Honestly, if they did
going, I'm sorry, Phil, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they do a third Amazing Spider-Man movie, just don't bring back Kurtzman and Orky as writers. Just get 2 other people. Just do not bring them back, because I think they are largely the reason why that third film script was just so problematic. And like, it was James Vanderbilt, Jeff Pinkner, and then those 2. And it's just like too many cooks in the kitchen. Just keep it to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt did a good job with the first script on the first movie. Maybe just bring him back. I don't know.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Jose?
I was going to say that if they want to keep it going with, from No Way Home, give him like a redemption arc, because he said it himself. He killed. He lost it and he killed, his
Spider-Man killed.
So like, start the movie off. He's like, maybe he's like not everybody, supports him because they know that he's killed somebody or something, and give him a redemption arc.
take what was in that Morbius trailer when they had like murderer.
Murderer.
Yeah, which was, according to the director, I didn't put that there. It's like, good God, dude.
That's so
Ugh.
Well,
God
like like I said, like earlier, before, like on Easter or whatever, like my sister and I, like finally we went to see a Morbius, and I was like, well, it may have been like the whole low expectations thing, where it's like, oh, this is pretty it was a good like way to kill an hour and a half. We found it, and like I said, she's a big Matt Smith fan, so and yes, she did get a kick out of that scene, Dave.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
But doesn't it give you like a little like, punch in the gut? Like, like I shouldn't enjoy this movie. Like, why am I like? I know it's a movie that's chopped to shit, and like it could have been a lot better, but
It's like
it was alright.
we found it enjoyable, but we did like agree, it could have been a lot better. It could have been better, but it's just like we could. It was one of those we know there's a good movie in there.
Oh yeah,
and
that's how I felt about Fantastic Four stick. Yeah. Whatever the hell.
Fantastic Four.
I've
So
never seen
Fan
that
Four
movie.
stick. No, Fan Four stick.
I'd rather watch that than X-Men Apocalypse. If I'm being
Is it-
completely honest.
Fantastic
Away.
Four.
I'll take Apocalypse any day.
Yeah, but again, like the direct apparently like the director like Jason Watts like is not so he left him. He's gone for the new Fantastic Four.
Oh, John Watts. Yeah, he stepped
Oh
away.
yeah, John Watts left. Yeah, which good for him, because it's like, dude, after the whole No Way Home, that was probably such a burden on him. And it's like, all right, he probably went, guys, I need a, and it is weird because
That's the reason, fine. But if it's another creative differences thing, I was like,
like Justin Lin, we can understand Justin Lin.
Yeah.
When you watch that video that Vin Diesel he looked like he was being held hostage.
I think John Watts just needs a break from the superhero stuff and big production. Like he just, because his project's already with an Apple series.
It's so ironic too.
Yeah, look at what Zach said about Horse Latitudes. He was looking forward to that because it's like there's gonna be no fucking green screens. It's like if I see another green screen, I'm gonna just like and then of course now he's shooting Rebel Moon. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like he wanted to have like a break of like, can I just do a small movie for a little bit right now? I mean, I think directors crave that every now and again after years of like getting like some big movies out. And Spider-Man No Way Home was like 20 years of Spider-Man cinema put into a fucking movie. So that's gonna and after doing 3 Spider-Man movies, it's like, yeah, man, the guy needs a fucking break. And you're gonna bring in Fantastic Four into the MCU. That's a lot of pressure. That's a shit ton of pressure.
Well, people people have to remember these guys didn't start off making green screen blockbusters with so many explosions.
He got hired for Spider-Man because of Cop Car.
They started making, even before then, they started making films, little in film school or whatever, making little small movies.
There's something to be said about directors where they get to do in between like the big, well, I'll just stick with the superhero genre, like in between the big like superhero movies, like where they get to do like smaller films as like, kind of a palate cleanser, or like, James Wan being able to do Malignant in between Aquaman 1 and 2, or like Nolan
and Inception.
Yeah, exactly. Like he made Prestige in between Begins, The Dark Knight, made Inception between Dark Knight Rises. There's something to be said to that. Like it sort of to take a step away from like the big superhero character and focus on something that is a little more unique and maybe special just to them. There's something to be said for that. Like, it works as a palate cleanser so that when they are ready to go back to, if they are, like if John Watts comes back, whether it's another movie or a later Fantastic Four movie, like I'm assuming they're gonna find a new director for the first one. But if he comes back, he's like, I want to do the second one, they'd probably be like, fine.
I'm sure whoever they're going to get for Fantastic Four, more than likely they're already talking to people.
Oh yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
My money's on Peyton Reed right now, to be honest. Actually,
I don't know about that. I don't know either.
Well, no, because I think he was up for directing a Fantastic Four movie sometime.
I think I remember hearing something about that too. But I mean, like I like the first Ant-Man movie. I don't like the second one, but
I think the second one's a ton of fun. I enjoy the hell out of it.
I just wasn't. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I wanted to be because I love Paul Rudd, but
Speaking of
Walter Goggins.
Speaking of Ant-Man,
Walter Goggins was in that movie.
I was gonna say, What do you guys think of how they switched the dates with Ant-Man and the Marvels?
Oh my God, it's
Oh.
all disaster. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
because
care.
I mean, February is not the best month for movies usually, right? And you're gonna
So
introduce
okay, what were the dates? That's why I didn't really care, so I didn't really.
Ant-
17th
Marvels.
to the
The Marvels was in February, and Ant-Man was in June.
July.
July,
Because-
and now they
July.
switched
because-
it.
Here's the thing, because February and January, like the late winter, is typically looked at as not the best time to put in movies. That makes that part of the year a breeding ground for the perfect spot to put in one of these a big movie. That because if all the other studios are afraid of that part of the year, one studio can say, okay, let's take it.
So what you're saying, Eric, is what happened was it said, "How dare you put a movie about women in February? You sexist, misogynistic.
How
Put
dare
Ant-Man in
you,
February."
sir? Well, I think I mean, didn't the first Deadpool came out in February, right?
February 12th.
Yeah, and it
2016.
did very
So
well.
did-
Black Panther came out in February, right?
Yeah,
did.
and what was it?
Yeah, but that's
what
Black
was,
Panther.
Did great there.
Yeah, and what was like M. Night Shyamalan's what was it the one with James McAvoy as
Split.
Split came out in January, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, another bad
And it did gangbusters. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it did.
Right.
I mean, it depends on the movie. Because look what Bad Boys for Life came out in February, and it was successful.
Yeah, it really does depend
January.
on the movie. I
It was
mean,
the
yeah.
very tail end of January.
Oh,
January
okay.
28th, I
Almost
think.
February. Almost February. So
there is a stigma, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if you have a good fucking movie,
market the shit out
Whatever.
of it, and people are
Yeah.
gonna go see it.
I mean, that's the thing is like, yeah, like I said, yeah, bringing up Split, that's good because yeah, that was great, and everybody raved about it and did great in a January box office. So yeah,
Yeah.
And then so people were looking forward to Glass, and then that shit was terrible.
I liked it.
I liked it too. I did, but it wasn't as good as Split too. But we got somebody else joining up. We got Kat showing up. What is up,
Hi.
Kat?
Hey, Kat.
Hey, what's up,
Hi,
Kat?
everyone.
Hello.
Just
you
wanted
going?
to stop by and say hi.
Hello.
Appreciate it. How's everything going?
Good.
Good.
All right,
How's
I don't
Chicago?
have a drink. I don't have a
I
drink.
know.
That's what I
How
forgot.
dare you? No, it's okay. It's
all right.
fine.
Well, I have to work tomorrow, so I didn't want to drink tonight, and I drank the night before, so.
Well, that's very
I'm only
responsible.
having the one glass, so I feel you on that.
I have to work tomorrow too, but I'm like, whatever. Makes me want to drink more, to be honest. No, but we're just talking about. We were talking about Jay Oliva earlier, and obviously you saw those too. What were your thoughts about everything?
Oh my god, I was so excited just because I saw Lois Lane.
Of course.
Lois Lane
Eric,
and
calm down, Eric.
Man
Yeah, I
of
know.
Steel.
Contrary
So-
to popular belief,
It came out of nowhere, so I don't know why he's posting
He
it
was
all
bored.
of a sudden.
He was bored today.
He was
Yeah.
bored.
Maybe I don't know.
It's a little
Could be
bit of
that.
stir in the pot.
Or
Yeah.
he's stirring the pot. Yes, that's that
The
too.
Snyderverse
He's
is
actually
restored.
posting
It's
stuff
confirmed.
online.
No, I mean, to me, it was just like, I mean, he started posting all that stuff, and then it was a lot of, I mean, he posted a couple of Deadpool, a couple of Thor things, but it was mainly just, Man of Steel, BBS, or
Mhm.
Zack Snyder shot, and then of course just the mic drop of, oh yeah, by the way, here's Ben Affleck's
Deathstroke.
Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one with him like on the sword. I didn't even see that until
yeah,
Dave pointed it out. So
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
No, it's God damn it. Can you imagine? And actually, Aaron Bailey, he
did
made
the
a
mock-up. Yep.
yeah, he did a mock-up of that where real quick, and I'm like, God damn, dude, and like that was
Looks
really quick. But he did like let's see if I can pull it up here. But yeah, he did like a quick little edit
Oh,
of
he didn't troll for
What's that?
once.
yeah. Did I know? Maybe he did. But yeah, he did. It's pretty cool how he did that. Let's see. Oh crap. Hold on. There we go. I got too many damn tabs open. Yeah, here it is right here. See right there. So that's pretty cool.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh wow,
Nice.
Yeah. So,
I like that.
That looks
Mhm.
awesome.
He's
Wait,
so
is that
talented.
that's not the picture they always use for Ben in articles, is it? For
no, thank God.
It kind of looked like
It's
it.
not. Yeah, no, it's not that shot of him, at Heroes
The
Park.
only shot that the media
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, but John
It kind of looks
Cena-
like it. I can see it, but
Yeah, right.
I don't think it's from
Yeah.
that shot.
Yeah, hopefully not. I don't know, but that's a cool. I'm like wondering. I mean, how he constructed all this. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know.
pretty
Yeah.
solid, I gotta say. We
That's
got
really good.
Aaron's
Yeah.
good.
I gotta
Aaron's
talk to
good.
my-
He's
Yeah,
very
I
good.
gotta talk to my guys in the. I gotta talk to my guys in the motion comic. We gotta look at that, see if we can use that. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, watch out.
Gotta
No,
pay
Not
Yeah.
tracing, don't worry, but like look at that and like use that for like.
not tracing. Yeah, no. Yeah,
No
we're
tracing
fine.
going on
We're
here.
fine.
Oh,
Yeah, no tracing happening. No, but when it comes to Cinema Comment, obviously the second day was Warner Brothers Day, and that's when.
WBD.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird? WBD. That sounds funny.
Sounds weird.
Yeah, it kind of does a little bit. It's one letter off SPD. Anyways,
The
if you guys
bowels,
know what that?
the
Well, yeah,
bowels.
yeah. I know. I went there because I'm immature. I'm a child.
My WBD's acting up.
Yeah. No, but
There's a
I
lady
mean,
present, Dave.
what's that?
There's a lady present, Dave.
I know. I know, right? Now it's like, nah, Cat, you're fine.
Have you seen her
Listen,
tweets?
we're at that. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. Have you seen some of Kat's tweets?
Yes.
I know. I was about to say. Okay.
I'm better now. Like, I mean, I think a couple years ago it was really bad.
She's grown. She's mature.
I've grown. Yes.
I'm a Toys R Us kid. I want to, never grow up. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, remember that old song? I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Fuck yeah.
Well, hey,
No, but,
I'm into Barbie girl, so it's not like I'm grown up
that's
either.
right.
so-
Okay.
What a perfect segue into Margot
Yeah,
Robbie. So,
exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So what are we thinking about that? Because I mean, I even said on Film Junkie Live, I'm like, I just don't know what the hell this is.
I'm
I'm
there day
intrigued
one.
by it.
The
I'm
fact,
intrigued.
yeah,
And she
I
looks
understand
gorgeous.
it. The
I'll
fact
say
that
this.
the fact that they've added so much talent to the movie.
That's
makes
the
me
thing.
really intrigued.
Mhm. It's got a
Here's
lot of
another thing.
stars, big stars.
Greta Gerwig has never made a bad movie.
Yeah,
There's that too. She's very talented, and
She's
it's like,
She's also never made a movie that I've watched.
Fair.
Because I haven't watched any of her movies. I'm sorry.
Did you watch Little
But I'm
Women?
sure
No?
she's very talented. No, never
Yeah.
seen that
Oh.
movie.
I
Lady
haven't seen
Bird.
Little Women in full, but just like I've seen a lot of the scenes of it, and I've liked what I've seen, and just the fact that Emma Watson is in it, it's like okay, I'm interested.
That's
Of
pretty
course.
good.
It's like
No,
that
but,
meme from. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I didn't see Little Women. I saw Lady Bird, enjoyed it, even though I didn't think the main character was likable at all. But I think that was the point. But I think she's a talented filmmaker, and that's why I'm like, what is this? You got Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell is going to be in it. There's just like, and at one point it was Amy Schumer, and it went to this, and it was like, I thought it was going to be just this
Whose idea
parody
was Amy
type
Schumer?
movie, and then, huh?
I'm going to whose idea was Amy Schumer? Seriously, and I will say
Oh my
kudos-
god, I would not want her.
no.
I think
no,
she was
Yeah,
trying
I don't
to
know
audition
what
for
they
it.
were thinking, what the Academy was thinking, making her one of the hosts this year. Seriously,
Yeah,
that
that too.
was
She's trash. That's just.
we all know
Sorry.
that she steals jokes.
No,
And
say what you feel.
Good.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
there
know
was a
who
lot
I
of-
thought would be better for Ken? Not
Hmm.
Ryan Gosling, but Christian Bale.
No,
Interesting.
Christian
Yeah.
Bale would have been a good.
well, they're
Oh, it
both
was like-
heartthrobs, so let me say that. I mean, and because if this is like, if you're having Ryan Gosling as Ken, that I'm pretty sure there already has been, but there are memes of him, hey girl, and so the hey girl meme and so on.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was like
Yeah.
the scene in Django when when
The
they
what
announced the
Django?
Barbie movie, Django Unchained, when they
I heard something else.
when they
Okay.
when they announced the Barbie movie, Margot Robbie, it was like okay, and then they dropped the pig. It was like okay, you had my curiosity,
Now you
now
have my
you
attention.
have my attention.
Right.
It's
But we
true.
still need to find out where her arm is because
I don't
Yeah.
know why they won't include the song from.
Oh yeah,
the
there's that.
90s.
too. And there
I
was
was
quite a
disappointed by that.
discourse on my timeline. I was like, there are people
Yeah.
going, "Well, what's the point?" And then people saying, "Thank God." And I was like, to me, I thought they would do it because why would they not? But at the same time, I'm going, okay, maybe it's wrong.
Apparently, it's a
right?
problematic song.
Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
That's what I was seeing people saying.
I
it's
mean,
a
that's how it
problematic
was
song.
in the 90s. Like people sang those songs and nobody said
Yeah.
anything. So, you know,
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I mean, there was no controversy at the time when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when it came out, everybody was just like,
Like we were all
you know,
into it. Yeah.
yeah.
It's all these woke people now that want to make a big deal about it. Like, whatever.
Nobody cared about the content of
offended.
music in the 90s. If they thought it was offensive, they just
Yeah.
slapped the explicit logo on the CD and then let it play
Yeah.
out.
Everyone's offended
The
about
good old
everything
days.
nowadays.
I know.
The good old
Good old
days of like,
days.
hey, this might be offensive, you know, don't listen to it. Look, we got a logo on there. And we
I
got
mean, in junior high, me and my peers were into like Offspring, like with their first couple.
hell
of
yeah.
albums. And like,
Smash.
and like,
Oh yeah.
we played those songs at junior high dances, and like none of us like understood like them to be offensive. But when you like pay attention to what they're actually about, like, yeah, these are not necessarily positive themes in these songs, but like, you know,
there's some of the rap of the 90s was pretty brutal to women, let's put it mildly.
But we still listened to them and didn't really complain. It was just whatever.
Exactly. No, but yeah, so I'm just when I saw that, I'm like, okay, shit, yeah, but what you said, Jose, yeah, her right arm like disappears, right? Am I not the only one who saw that?
I think it's behind. I think it's like, I don't know. Her arm.
I don't
is
know
like
what's
curved.
going on with that, but like it's like
perfectly behind her head and the rest of her body.
Yeah, you see her hand, but you don't see the arm. It's I don't know. It's strange, but again,
Then again, she might
whatever.
have little arms. You know, she's a small girl. So.
It could be that.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So I'm just one of those that kind of just like I just want to. I'm gonna have to when the first trailer comes out. That's when I'm gonna make a decision of okay, this is gonna be something that I'm gonna want to see because I just don't know what it's going to be right now. To me, it sounds ridiculous right now, but with all these A-listers and a very, pretty much an A-list director that's going to be directing this, I'm kind of going, all right, it's got to be something. I just don't know what it is yet, and I think that's intriguing to me. But at the same time, I'm like, all right. But
I think the best thing they can do is just. You want to go make a Barbie movie, then go all in. Just make it a Barbie world. That's it. Like, don't.
Yep.
She's not a toy. She's not.
But if you can't have the song,
I mean, she was able to cast some pretty big names, so sounds like it would be
story about Barbie
good.
and the world of Barbie, and that's it. Like, she's not a toy. She doesn't know she's a toy. Nobody mentions her being a toy in the movie at all. It's just she's Barbie.
Well, okay, if it's very much like a Last Action Hero kind of sense, like a meta sense to it, I could be totally on board with that because that's what I mean. Last Action Hero, that is in my top 20 favorite movies. It's just one of those feel good movies. If I'm just like, what do I want to watch? Something that's going to lift my spirits. I'll put on Last Action Hero. I've watched that so many times because it's just so fucking good. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger making fun of his entire movie career, essentially.
It's pretty great.
Great moments in that movie that we don't remember because we
Rubber baby bubby bumpers. Yeah.
There's that great moment where like when they're in the real world and the kid is like just lets it all out, his frustration over the world that he lives in, and like this world stinks. And then
there's
Arnold
some good dramatic moments in that movie.
Yeah. And Arnold goes, "The world is what you make of it, Danny." And I love that moment so much.
Yeah, even though it's like very much a parody, it's like it has some serious good moments like that. Like you even said, like this world sucks, and then Jack Slater just starts just going, hey, and just kind of lets him know and everything. Yeah. So if it's something like that, I will be okay with it. I'll be fine.
I've said this a lot because with that on that note, like, and I've said this a lot that Enchanted is very much that kind of like Last Action Hero-ish kind of movie.
Fun fact: I was in the same college and at the same time as Austin O'Brien.
Really? No shit.
Yep.
Yeah, the kid in Last Action Hero. He was also in Lawnmower Man 2.
He was like 1 year ahead of me, I think, and like he's also was trying to. I don't know how far he got into it, but he's like also like sings and plays guitar and had a band for himself for a little while.
That's cool.
Interesting, crazy. But when it comes to the WBD CinemaCon, I mean, obviously the Batman 2 finally that got announced. It was like, I think a lot of us were kind of wondering, when the fuck are they going to announce it? Oh, okay, that makes sense. And then
he came out and was like, can't wait to do the next chapter.
It was his birthday. They
Oh
did
yeah,
on
that
his
too.
birthday.
It's the day
Yeah,
before his
Matt Reeves'
birthday. It was like
Oh, the day
26th.
before. Well, they were
Yeah.
probably just waiting for his birthday.
Well,
Happy
whatever.
birthday, Matt.
Love your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that, and then of course they showed, the Flash sizzle reel, which a lot of people are talking about. I wanted to get your guys's. Do we all know the description of the trailer that was shown, or the sizzle reel that was shown of the Flash?
I've seen the descriptions of it. That's the thing that kind of bothered me about it. Like they had, the only thing they really showed off, showed off in full and released to the public was the Barbie picture. But then we just get all this regurgitation of, the descriptions for all the trailers. And I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see if they'll show off one. I doubt they'll show the Flash, but I'd be really excited if they showed Black Adam in front of Doctor Strange, like they're apparently showing Avatar in front of Doctor Strange.
True.
But I don't know. As far as the Flash description goes, I just it confirms some things about some minor leaks, and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. But
yeah, I mean, when it came to the whole oh yeah, and then Michael Keaton's Batman goes, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts," and I'm like, as much as I love that line, and I use it at the beginning of my shows, and I use it as a drop. What's the context? I'm kind of going, why would somebody say that?
Yeah, I agree. If it's something
the multiverse is nuts, Dave.
If it's something like this, like when they're getting into the Batmobile, whatever, or when they're at the caves, like, well, hey, you want to get nuts? Suits up. Come on.
I bet it's somewhere in the context. Yeah. I mean, my guess is somewhere in the context of where where Flash is saying to him, "Are you in?"
Yeah, that's what somebody said. That it's literally after that when he said,
"Yeah, it's got to be." Yeah.
She's probably he's sitting down, he probably doesn't want to do it, and then he's like, want to get nuts? Well, let's get nuts then.
Yeah, I mean, I get the call back, and I almost think is that a trailer thing? Is that going to be actually a movie? I don't know. I'm very in the middle of how I feel about that.
No Way Home.
I love the line, but at the same time, I'm like, that's just such a crowd service line.
It's a callback.
Yeah, it's such a callback.
No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home had Willem Dafoe say, I'm
something
myself.
And everybody loved
Very
it.
True. Everybody loved it. So I get it.
Other than Keaton saying I'm Batman, is there a particular line of his from either the first few returns that's really an iconic one?
Besides, you ever dance with the devil?
Which I would expect him to do. Oh, there you go.
Or
that one because but then again he said it because Joker said it.
Right.
Or the mistletoe is deadly when you eat it, but
that's
a
damn good movie. I love that.
Okay, is there any chance of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because
that's what I was
if Keaton's
just
coming back, I want Michelle to come back.
Yeah. Especially
they're married.
Especially when we remember all the setup for the big crossover, multiverse crossover in
the Crisis. Yeah,
the Crisis.
We saw the newspaper.
Yeah, the newspaper that Bruce and Selena married.
And who
come on, you gotta have Michelle Pfeiffer come back. I mean, she turned 64 and she's
posted too. In the last year, she's posted stuff on Instagram. Her Catwoman stuff.
Yeah, she showed up.
Yeah, she's still Catwoman. I mean, she was. I had a GIF of her with holding a black cat, saying hi. She's still Catwoman to me.
Yeah,
she showed up in Ant-Man too, so she wouldn't be against it.
Honestly,
no, I guarantee you, I'm already going to call this right now. She's in the fucking movie. There's no way that she's not.
Oh
There's no way. You have to have her.
Yeah. Was she in London anytime around when they were filming? So
I think they're keeping her a big time secret. I'm not saying that she's going to have a huge role, but there's got to be something there. Yeah. And I mean, if they're going to have any kind of surprises, which they're supposed to be in this movie, because it is it's a multiverse movie where they're going to have they're going to try to fit in a lot of little cameos or surprises. You can't tell me that she's not going to show up in there. She's got to show up.
And I will stand by my prediction. Ever since we saw the footage, we saw the footage from Flash, that one of the moments in that footage was the Mainbury standing next to a high voltage switch. And what that is setting up is it's a nod to Flashpoint, only it's not this Barry, because in Flashpoint he wakes up in this other Earth and he doesn't have any powers, so they have to simulate the powers, but it's not going to be him. It's going to be the other Barry, where he and Bruce, they use this high voltage to give this other Barry those powers. So now that there's two classes, and then at the end of the movie, one of those Barrys, like the Barry that we've been following, goes back to the Snyderverse, and the new Barry is the Barry of the quote unquote new DCU with Michael Keaton and Supergirl.
I just took it as he was turning on the Batcave.
That's what I thought too.
The high voltage.
He's turning on the lights.
They're going to turn him in the Batcave. They're going to give him those powers in the Batcave with the high voltage.
But here's the thing, though. How I don't know that that's the case, because you see him in that universe, or allegedly, maybe, I don't know. Like, you see him talk to his mother. You see him outside his house in his suit with his powers, and then you see him in the cave with that suit in his powers. So I don't know that he's going to lose his powers if he travels.
Barry is not going to lose his powers. That's what I'm saying. Is that there's going to be another Barry that he meets in this universe. That's the other.
Giving the powers to the second Barry.
Yeah, that Barry does not have powers. The main Barry does. He meets this new guy, and then they walk around where he talks to him about it and says, "Okay, we're going to give you powers too." That's what's going to happen.
I mean, I can't. I've been told things like from people that, on Twitter, everybody talks to each other, and there's people like I've been told some very detailed stuff, so I don't really want to say much.
Yeah, don't
about it.
So have I. I've been told stuff too.
Yeah, so it's like basically, but I mean, the long story short is basically it's another Earth. Like there's another Barry that's in this Earth with Keaton. So there's like this is Keaton's Flash.
Yes.
And then this is Keaton's Flash. And then, they got to team up because they're trying to get, Snyder, if you want to call him Snyder, whatever, Snyder's Barry back to his world. Without fucking stuff up. But there's a whole another thing that I've been told too. It's like, okay. Wow.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't. I mean, who knows, because this is one of the leaks, and who knows if this is true or not, or if they'll change it. But like, I cannot abide by the idea of, like, I'm all for Supergirl showing up and everything like that. And if however she ends up in whatever universe, but like, if it ends up in a situation where like the main DCU they're going forward with is Supergirl literally replacing Cavill's Superman, where Superman actually
I would be so upset. I'm going to go on a rant, so I'll stop, but I wouldn't like that.
It's going to come from a universe.
I really hope they don't do that.
Yeah, she's going to come from a universe that doesn't have Superman, but she's going to be put into this new DCU where there is one.
See, and if there's a chance for the two of them to partner up in somehow in some future capacity, that'd be great. But like,
I don't mind that, but like her replacing him, that's an issue with me personally. So
I think it's an issue with all of us, to be honest.
But I mean, just remember how we got this information, and people they like to word things a certain way.
True or not?
To get people, people.
Dude, they do that just to get the
what do they say? What did they say the first day? They're erasing the Snyderverse, and then you wait a couple hours or you wait a couple days, and you got other scoops that are like, they're not erasing anything. It's just
well, even Ezra even said that no, it's not doing that. And like when you have the Flashpoint story, now, if you read that story, I mean, like, look what that fucks up. And that's just dealing with time travel, not even multiverse stuff. They upped it a notch when it comes to this. And it's like, but eventually you got to go back and fix all that, right?
Well,
I mean, that's the resolution.
To be fair, Dave, how Flashpoint ends with the creation of the New 52 and the idea that he does replace the old post-crisis universe.
Yeah, but I'm not looking in like that far, like when it comes to replay, but I'm just talking about the initial story itself, because when the timeline gets fucked up, it's like you have, Bruce Wayne died. Thomas Wayne's the Batman, and he's got guns, and which of course a lot of people freak out about that. And then you got a Superman who did not become Superman. He got captured and he'd been hauled into a bunker, and he's all skinny and frail and all that stuff like that. I mean, it's just, that's what Flashpoint was supposed to be so jarring, to be like, what the fuck? Arthur and Diana are at odds. The Atlanteans and the Amazonians are like at a war with each other, and we all know what happens with that when it comes to Mira's head, which I think Johnny Depp would like to see. But anyways, at the same time, sorry. That's so bad. But yeah, so it just, there's so many things.
It just sucks we have to wait so long to see.
I know
movie.
that's the thing.
That's the worst part because I can deal with waiting for a movie, but I can't deal with waiting for a movie and having to listen to people's bullshit about it for a whole year. Because you got you have all kinds of sides with this movie. You know, the supportive side, people that just want to hate on it, people that want to trash it, people that hear this, they hear a rumor and they go on. Because to me, it's like, to me personally, I see the Flash as, if it's gonna have all these things that are rumored to be in the movie, bringing back Zod and bringing back Feora, I'm like, oh, this movie could be like one of the biggest like love letters to Zack's movies. But you got people that are like, no, they're gonna fucking trash on Zack's movies. They're disrespecting Zack's movies. You haven't even seen the movie.
I guarantee you, talking to DJ and talking to Brian Hirota, who are the VFX supervisor on this, it's not.
I just can't stand that mentality. I can't stand, because these people are so dead set on this movie's gonna ruin it and it's gonna trash it, so I'm gonna hate it forever and it sucks. Fuck the Flash. And it's like, dude, like, just relax. Wait till you see the movie. You want to talk shit afterwards, and talk shit. But just wait to watch the movie.
If Zod is gonna kill Baby Soups, then I'm gonna talk shit.
But you know what's funny? But he was gonna do that in Man of Steel, and he got stopped. He was gonna blow up a ship that had a baby on it. I know, but Kat, he was gonna blow up a ship that had a baby on it. Yeah. And now he's gonna actually do it, and people are like,
it didn't happen.
But it was going to.
It was Superman's movie. That wasn't gonna happen.
Exactly. No, now this isn't Superman's movie. Now this is the movie that's gonna have Supergirl in it.
And then kill off the biggest superhero.
This is not even Henry Cavill. That's why not even.
No.
But again, at the same time, it's taking it into a different linear whatever world, and it's like, so this is gonna still go, and we could still there still could be a time where like, hey, let's go back and prevent this from happening, and the resolution of that, just like the Flashpoint story of like, how do we get back, Yeah,
and just like in Snyder's main storyline, where like in the nightmare future, like Lois is dead, so we have to prevent her from dying.
That too. See, I mean, there's so many things.
But we know Lois is going to come back in that.
See, I mean, Nikki's with you with this. It's like,
we're gonna have to wait and see. The guy leaked.
Yeah,
I think there's even like a precedence in comics continuity that Kara Zor-El even comes not even from just a different time per se, from another universe.
Yeah, I was going to bring
that was continuity for a little while.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. That is in the post-crisis timeline. That's Supergirl's origins. Now, in post-crisis, she's a shapeshifter for some reason, but she is from another Earth.
Yeah. See, it gets confusing when it comes to multiverse. It just gets confusing, but at the same time, it's like, hey, let's just wait and see what happens with the movie. Let's not, I mean, my biggest thing is always the fact that, like I said, talking to DJ and Brian, and they were done. They were done with doing superhero movies. Yeah, and there's something about the Flash that brought them back, because after what happened with Justice League and the fact that they had to rip up Zack's movie to shreds and do all this other crap, they were done. They were absolutely done. But there was something about what Muschietti brought to the table, and with everything that's been built up since, they were like, you know what, we're gonna come back for this because this sounds interesting.
Well, also Ben Affleck. Ben
Affleck came back. Yeah. See, that's the thing too. Is people forget that Ben Affleck's in the movie.
Yeah.
I keep bringing that up to people, and I keep bringing up, the VFX guys, and they say, well, they need the paycheck. It's like,
oh no,
specifically said they were done.
Bullshit.
No, they don't need the paycheck. They're fucking. They work at Scanline.
They work a lot.
They work at Scanline. It's a top-notch VFX fucking company.
He's got to pay his. He has to pay his bills, guys. He got to pay those bills.
Yeah.
That ring he put on J-Lo's finger probably cost a pretty penny.
Yes, yeah, and then just hearing Ben, what he has to say too, is like he had a great time, and it's like he almost figured out like what my Batman was supposed to be about in this movie. And then, of course, when everything was like, oh yeah, they're gonna kill him, and then it came to be like, no, he doesn't die. And we don't go over the details of what's been heard, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's leaving the door open, which is great. We want Ben to leave the door open for more Batman. It's like, yeah.
Let's find a way just to get this out, out of the air. All right. everyone keeps pointing to, the revelations that, Grace Ralph was saying it. And I say, well, I don't trust what Grace Ralph says. I'm sorry. And then someone says, well, she's not the only one bringing this up. Then why is she the one that people keep pointing to?
Well, that was
Didn't
me.
Dave say that?
There's more
Yeah.
people. Yeah. No, I did. Well, because I remember you responded to me, and I was like, "Well, she's not the only one," because I saw, other people like go, retweet stuff about it and blah blah blah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Eric's
I mean,
Eric's the
Grace
first guy
is the
to
only
throw
one that
shots
people
at
are
someone he's
retweeting
on
about
stream
this.
with.
Yeah. Shut up about Grace Ralph. If other people said it, tweet them.
yeah.
No, my thing with the whole Affleck thing, and people are like, why the fuck is Michael Keaton the one in Bad Girl, not Affleck? Go fucking ask Ben. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Or we got to see what happens in the Flash of why that's the reason. I don't know.
But I mean, honestly, we don't really have to, because it's like, okay, well, Ben didn't want to. If Ben's gonna be in the Flash and he's gonna have the ending of his character, whatever, in that movie, not like 100% the ending, but like how by the end of the movie we're gonna see what's gonna happen to Ben's Batman. So if he's not gonna be in the future, this whole because basically what's gonna happen is if you can see all the clues and deduce them, Barry's gonna do some shit that's gonna combine all these universes together to make one. So we're gonna bring Michael Keaton into this main timeline. So, and then the timeline that was with Ben is gonna be in a whole completely separate thing. So the new time is gonna have the same Ezra, the same Barry, the same Jason Momoa, the same Gal Gadot apparently, and now we're gonna have Supergirl, Batgirl, and Michael Keaton, but Ben Affleck is gonna be over here on this side. So it's like story wise, you think they wanted to continue? Like it was like, what position were they put in? Okay, well Ben doesn't want to do Batman anymore, and Michael Keaton's in the movie, and he's down to keep going. Well, then let's just put him as the, he's gonna be the Batman in this timeline that's gonna continue.
Yeah, and then anytime we see him in the suit, it's going to be a flashback more than a present day thing. I don't know. It's not going to be like 70-year-old Bruce Wayne is going to be kicking ass out there. It's going to be more flashback, but then he's going to be more of a mentor kind of thing.
And I find the rumors very interesting that at the very end, or maybe there may be like a credit scene or whatever, where we get a complete reversal of the BVS scene, where instead of Barry showing up in a vision for Bruce, like it's Barry sees a vision from Batfleck. I find that rumor very interesting.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of what happened in BVS.
And who said that? Who said that was gonna happen? Grace.
Uh-oh. Take it back. Take it back, Eric. Take it back.
I'm still bitter she blatantly spoiled Venom Let There Be Carnage. Just like, God. Lord.
Oh, yeah. No, shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, the comicbook.com spoiled some shit today about the leak that came out on Multiverse of Madness, where I was like, wow, guys, we're not going to talk about it. Not talk about it. We won't spoil it here.
I would have been okay with that, because it's like, look, she's been wrong on so much and she's never admitted it. But again, the beginning of this, the very start of this year, she says Batfleck's gonna die and she's gonna end up dead in this movie. And then later on, just recently, she's like, "Oh no, he's not gonna end up dead."
Wait, was it her or wasn't it the other scooper? Wasn't she the one that started the whole thing? And then people, because people on Twitter, they go and they tag Grace like, Grace knows every single thing in the universe. Grace, what do you think of this?
Have you seen Grace's video on her review of Man of Steel? Ever since I saw that like years ago, I don't like her. I've been consistent in not liking her.
She hates Henry Cavill.
She said from the beginning, she like shitted on it.
Yeah. She hates Henry Cavill.
Well, she loves BVS.
With this cast.
Yeah, but from the beginning, she could have been more supportive of Man of Steel, but she never was. So anybody who's a fan of Cavill, we all hate her.
Yeah,
the whole Cavill fandom hates her.
Yeah. Also, she talks way too much. She talks way too much out of both sides of her mouth. That's her biggest problem.
Which is why,
and she's like a flip flopper. She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
She goes on whatever gives her, the
information
she wants.
Yep.
She does have sources, but sometimes I'm like, do you have new sources or old sources? Or are they just feeding you?
She thought the Snyder fandom was her, her paradise, but then they like turned on her, and she's like, "Whoa, no, I don't know if they." I don't know if they turned on her or she just turned first because she was
Turn
probably
on
like, you
her.
know
It's
what?
like I
don't
want to
wanna
diagnose
deal
her
with
with
this.
a mental illness. It's sad, but I just the way that she is. I just want to diagnose her with something. The nurse found out in me.
Narcissism.
I mean, the crazy thing is with the pushback of the Flash, we got like a whole year until it actually comes out. Like and we have a completely new regime in charge of Warner Brothers. I mean, we'll see what happens with Hamada and Emmerich and whatnot. But like, we have Zaslav now calling the shots, and he may, I mean, for good or ill, he may look at the Flash and be like, "This is good. I don't know about this," and then there may be some,
Well,
there may be within this year there could be significant change that happens, good or bad. Who knows? And I don't know what Muschietti's original vision and most desired end result is. But yeah, I mean, it's a year. A lot of things could happen between now and the time we see this actual movie yet. So,
well, now that you bring that up, Kerry, it's like it brought me. I made the comment earlier. I don't know. Did you guys see? Supposedly the Wonder Twins movie got canceled.
Oh yeah,
but there's only like one
source
that's like
that's why I'm kind of waiting on it. I'm waiting on it because I don't know. I mean,
like
they full on cast the two leads and stuff, so I don't know.
Who is it that said it was canceled?
Film updates.
Hashtag
show.
Yeah,
hashtag show.
Yeah, the hashtag show. Do you guys follow the Film Updates account? That's like the only other one I saw that tweeted that out. Because not discussing film didn't tweet anything out. Phantom didn't tweet nothing out. Nobody said anything. So it's probably not even true. Yeah. But then I've also been told from people on in the DMs that it is true. People that are in the industry have heard that it is true. I didn't care for a Wonder Twins movie. I wasn't gonna be the first one in line to watch a Wonder Twins movie, but I just don't think that's a good precedent to right off the bat. You're starting off canceling a movie. From a guy
it doesn't look good.
So
it doesn't. I don't think it looks good.
It doesn't look good. No,
it's not a good look.
And if you just casted, the two main actors,
leads, right?
Like,
not only that, Zaslav did say that he was not going to overspend, and you'd have to wonder if maybe. I'm not saying it does, but maybe in his line of thinking, this film in particular on HBO Max could fall in that category. I'm not saying it will, but until there's some more concrete sources running with this,
yeah, I'm not fully believing it either. I want to see the actor post something on set "Oh, I guess we got canceled, guys. Take off my makeup or something I don't think it's because the source isn't the best.
Yeah. At this point, you know what? At this point, I trust this more than all these scoopers.
Shit, that's probably what Grace uses.
Trust that more than Grace, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I'm about to say, I was like, yeah. I mean, what was the thing I said to you earlier this week? I'm like, the credibility is in the eye of the beholder when it comes to these scoopers. And sometimes these these scoopers out there that just say shit because they know that their fan base is gonna swallow it right up. We've seen it before.
Well, like you said the other night, like you said the other night, Dave. It's especially some of these Snyder hating scoopers that just love anything. That love any news that can potentially be negative for in the light of Snyder fans. That'll trigger them and this and that. They'll word things a certain way, to get people pissed off. It's so lame.
Jody's Corner, for example.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Remember that whole thing what was the thing where
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, he believes Joss Whedon. I know there's that one, but there was another one too, right?
Fisher.
Yeah, where's that? But there was something else. What the fuck else was there? I'm totally drawing a blank on what it was that he was totally. Ann Sarnoff. When he was like, "Oh, thank you, Ann Sarnoff," he was like, "Oh, Ann Sarnoff destroyed the Snyderverse." He did a whole video about that, and it's like, and now she's gone, and it's like, well, what now, Jody?
Huh? You know what? I wish I could frame one. If I could frame a tweet of his, I would frame the tweet of his when Gal tweeted, "Release the Snyder Cut."
Yeah.
On that day, and he quote tweeted it. He quote tweeted and said, "What the fuck, Gal?"
Yeah.
Clown.
He was.
I believe Joss Whedon.
I will always have that there. It's like, really, dude. Yeah. Now, Do you still?
Can we get an update? Can we get an update on?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Can we get an update after all the shit that's come out about Joss? Can we?
Yeah.
You know, surprisingly enough, Joss Whedon does have his fair share of defenders. Surprisingly enough,
He does.
and it's
Anybody
pretty sad.
Anybody has defenders.
Of
True.
course.
The worst
Very
person in the
true.
world probably has a defender. Like,
Hitler-
the Emirates
Hitler has
is-
his- It's
yeah.
yeah. But anyways, when it comes to CinemaCon, so yeah, obviously the second day was like the big, that was our bread and butter right there. Aquaman,
Black
they
Adam.
showed some stuff. Black Adam,
Black
they showed.
Adam, Shazam.
Sizzle, they showed Shazam, which a lot, you know what, and good on and you know what, I love David F. Sandberg. Protect that man for everything, because I mean when they moved the date a week later after for Avatar, it's kind of funny how on Wednesday when they showed the Avatar 2 stuff, all of a sudden Warner Brothers Discovery just kind of goes, all right, yeah, let's push it a week,
Yeah.
and it's like, and then David F. Sandberg tweets out, James Cameron or whatever the hell he said. And then he
You're
goes,
welcome.
but
Something
no,
like
by
that.
all
You're
means,
welcome,
I want to
Cameron.
see 4K of the Abyss, and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's he's like one of those directors, top 5 directors I'd want to sit and have a beer with. I mean, my God. I mean,
His sense of humor is on point for sure.
the sense of humor, I could see
Yeah.
just me and him going back and forth and just like talking shit about stuff and joking. Man,
You know, if there's anyone who would, if in my mind, if there's anyone who could probably do a follow up to Justice League, it's probably him. It's probably David S.
more than
Sandberg.
anybody else. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Definitely.
Oddly enough, I'm thinking just now, we were wondering like who would Marvel be looking at to do Fantastic Four. It would be fun to see Sandberg doing Fantastic Four.
He could probably do a good job with it.
Sandberg, he did a tweet about saying he would never do Man of Steel because
Superman
would
fan.
Oh yeah,
be
I
hard
know
for
Superman.
I never do a Superman.
Superman, and
Because-
because of the gatekeepers or something like that. But
Yeah, it's be too much. You can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Zach did it, so
And he didn't please
Well,
everyone.
Zach's a different level. Zach's a different level, man.
True.
I mean, remember when we saw that there was like that video of him where he back in like 2012 or whatever, where he's all, they have a Thor movie. They have a
but
Thor
I felt like
movie.
he was
Superman
baiting
movie?
Superman fans. I really thought he was.
Yeah.
You what? Say that again?
I thought he was baiting Superman fans.
Oh yeah. I think I mean, it wasn't like he was even talking shit
He
about
was saying
Thor.
that like they're toxic or not, whatever. But we're just like
Yeah.
not. But then if you're gonna
Yeah.
say something like that about them, of course they're going to say
Jump
something.
on you, dog pile. Yeah.
Like what's that thing?
Well,
Don't
Zach
wave
is
the
pro-
red cape or whatever, the one that Alfred said.
Yeah.
Don't expect him to not attack.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you know what
Zach's
I'm
probably
talking
the
about?
reason why. Zach's
Yeah, I know
probably
what you're
the reason
talking
why
about. Zach
David
Snyder,
Sandberg
yeah.
doesn't want to do the movie because look how people attack Zach.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah, but
that's
Zach
right.
can take it.
Yeah.
He ignores
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Speaking of Thor, like I'd love to see Kenneth Branagh either do the Man of Steel 2 or maybe do Justice League 2 under Zach, because if anyone
That's a good choice, too.
Mhm.
Kenneth Branagh is a really great director, I think.
I
I
agree
mean, he
with that
just got
totally.
nominated for Academy Awards
Yeah.
for
I would also love to see him play, especially after seeing, because I recently saw on HBO Max all the Harry Potter movies back to back. So, and watching Chamber of Secrets, I would love to see Kenneth Branagh on screen as G. Gordon Godfrey. Yeah.
See, I don't know who that is because I'm not really into it.
In the Superman in the classic comics, G. Gordon Godfrey is this he's
He's a news
Oh, you're
reporter.
talking about- Oh, okay.
He's a news reporter, and he's essentially a liaison for Darkseid.
We're
Yeah,
talking
he's
about
like
Harry
this
Potter.
bragger.
Whoa,
He basically
spoilers.
he makes this publicity that he's basically and he's this charismatic guy who basically
Are you
dumps
talking about
people
Locklear
through-
in Chamber Secrets?
Lockhart.
Yeah,
Lockhart.
Professor
I
Lockhart.
said
And this-
Locklear.
the way he played him, the way he played Lockhart in Chamber of Secrets, that I'm like, that's G. Gordon Godfrey.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I love Philip
Bragger, charismatic guy, and yeah.
Well, you'll see him in Young Justice, Dave. He's in there.
I'm pretty sure he was voiced by Godfrey in Young Justice in the first.
No, he
films.
was voiced by.
No,
Tim
it's someone else.
Curry.
in Justice.
He was
Oh.
voiced by
I
Tim
don't know.
Curry.
I don't know.
Oh, it was Tim Curry. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of maybe
They
another
replaced him
Superman
though. They
movie or something.
replaced Tim Curry after.
Yeah,
In the
yeah, they
First
did.
season, it was a different voice.
Yeah.
I will say,
They replaced Tim Curry again.
Yeah.
Tim Curry's getting up there in age, so that
Dave,
didn't
you
surprise
really
me.
do have to get,
I mean, I get it. Yeah.
Dave, you really do have to get caught up with Young Justice for a.
Oh yeah, like I said, I've been watching it all week. I mean, like I've watched the first 2 seasons before, and then but now I'm just like going through and just this episode, this and everything. And now I'm fully getting caught up, with Young Justice because it's just so fucking good. It's just so good.
Show.
Yeah, it is definitely the most DC thing that's ever been DC'd, so.
Yeah, Wiseman and Vietti, they know what's up. They know how to do that show, and I love Greg Wiseman. That man owns up to everything. He is a phenomenal showrunner, phenomenal writer. Everything they do with Young Justice, just hats off to Wiseman. That dude is just intelligent as hell.
Even when the series is a little slow, there's still something to enjoy.
Oh, I'm engaged every episode. I love it.
Yeah. Did any of you guys watch the Green Lantern animated series?
I never watched that one.
I didn't.
Apparently,
there was a big payoff in the last couple episodes. Yes.
Apparently now it's canon to Young Justice because there's a certain character that's in there.
It's canon in the sense that things happen parallel in Young Justice that happened in Green Lantern, but more or less, you're right. Yeah. On that note, I have work in the morning. I'm going to take off, Dave. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you again, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Philip. And go ahead and promote whatever you got to promote. Do whatever.
I mean, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm not there for the next week because I'm waiting on Multiverse of Madness to come out. I just made a TikTok, Twitter, Vero, Instagram, TikTok, just at Unfiltered. You can listen to my podcast, The Eternal Night. You can also listen to Superhero Stress if you so wish, and you can also catch me on the 4 Nerds Network. So much appreciate it, everybody. Right. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Have a good night, Phil.
Yeah. You good too, Kat? I know you said you had work tomorrow.
I do have to work tomorrow, so I think I'll say bye as well.
All right.
Okay.
Before you go, how would you like to try out for a voice in the motion comic?
You already asked me this before.
I think I did. I forgot what your response was though.
I didn't respond. That's why.
That's why. Are you going to do it? Come on.
I mean, what would I do? What would I do? What voice?
Well, that's probably why I've been listening to your voice right now. It's like, maybe try out for Lois. I don't know if you'd be interested.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I mean, do I have a Lois voice? I don't know.
Kind of. So at least try it out. DM me, and we'll talk.
Okay, I'll think about it.
All right.
There you go. Well, thank you, Kat, for joining. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
See
ya. Have a good night. All right. Trying to get your Lois Lane, huh? I thought you were going to get her for Catwoman because, Cat.
That wouldn't be interesting.
Too on the nose.
Catwoman would be interesting.
Yeah, a little too on the nose.
Cat would probably be able to do a couple of different characters, whether Lois Lane or someone else. So I bet she could pull off.
That's why when she asked, my response was, "Well, let's try it out. Let's DM me. Let's try it out."
Yeah, it's always. I mean, let her read something like you had me read something that you wrote, and then apparently I got the gig. So
yeah, you got the gig because but you said yourself you want to try to sound more like Ben Affleck. So it's like, yeah, and I agree. You do need to try.
Yeah, I'm not going to do casual Batman. That wouldn't be good.
Some guys in the Discord we're talking about is Dave just using his normal Dave voice in this recording? I was like,
yeah, I'm not going to.
Cigarettes, though.
I know, right? Just try to get a cold.
Raspy voice, Batman voice.
Just try to sound as much as Ben Affleck as you can, that sort of thing.
That's kind of. I mean, when I did that whole trailer thing, when I forgot who was doing the dubbing over the trailer of the trailers of Justice League before, this was years ago, before even Snyder Cut was going to be released, and I was asked to do that, and hey, do all the Bruce Wayne and Batman stuff, and I'm like, all right. And then Liz Wonder was doing Gal and everything, and it was cool. And I was like, all right, I guess I could try to do something like that. And so I was just kind of summoning that from 3 years ago or something like that happened. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Because my test, whenever someone is coming in and says, okay, let's see what character you could do, I always say, use the lines from the movies we have, and let's because I'm going to compare
exactly what I do too.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, when it comes to I mean, obviously, when it comes to Ben Affleck's Batman, he's got the modulated voice, so which always helps.
Bruce, though, can you?
But at the same time, it was like, okay, so it's like, especially when it came to that trailer. I mean, I just kept listening to it, like stuff they said, I need warriors, and it's just kind of like, all right, let me just try to drop it down to, I need warriors, kind of thing, where it's like, all right, I got to bring it down to like that and not sound too ridiculous.
The more practice, the better, I'd say.
But so back to CinemaCon, what else was that you guys were like, that you heard that was like, oh, go ahead.
What do they say about Aquaman?
That's what I was saying. My biggest thought about Aquaman was the description of it is like he and his brother teaming up against
Black Manta,
and so on. And the more I was reading that, the more I was thinking that it really looks like this is like the classic thing where, like, even way back, like Shakespeare looking at Philip Marlowe's stuff and says, okay, I'm gonna do something like that, only I'm gonna do it better. Like they did like Jew of Malta, but I'm gonna do like the Merchant of Venice, where the Jewish character is actually a human being, and you're gonna sympathize with him. But so in his case, Juan it comes off to me anyway. James Wan looked at Thor the Dark World, and says, okay, I'm going to do something like that, only I'm going to do it better.
I completely trust James Wan with anything at this point. Aquaman was so damn good. I absolutely love that movie. Patrick Wilson's an amazing actor, and can't wait to see him do more opposite with Jason Momoa, and like Yahya Abdul-Mateen, man. I mean, I for me at least,
everywhere now.
The best scenes in the first movie were the stuff revolving around Black Manta, and for it to see Black Manta unleashed in this movie, cannot wait. And Aquaman: Lost Kingdom is easily of the slate so far. That's easily the one I'm most anticipated for and most excited about, just because I completely trust James Wan. I love the first movie, and just fully expect to be on board with this. What's going on in this one?
Even with Amber Heard.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with the Black Manta stuff that they said that he's like taken over by something. So he's like some ancient power or something takes over Black Manta. So he's like even stronger, on the levels of Aquaman, and that's why he needs Orm to help him in defeating him.
Yeah, and the fact that it's going to be, I mean, and of course there was like, go back to Grace of like how much screen time Amber Heard, and what did I kept saying like last week, I'm like, I bet she has a small role, because it just seems like they like what kind of story can you do when it comes to the Aquaman sequel that, all right, we established that there was this, this love story, which Zach also put, in Justice League. You could see that there was this connection between Arthur and Mira, which is fine. It's like, okay, we already had that. We saw in Aquaman, they had their kiss, which was a beautiful shot that James Wan crafted when they kissed and everything was happening. And it was like cool. But at the same time, I'm just kind of going, all right, we don't need to do, how much do we need of that now? This is going to be a movie about brothers reuniting, I kept hearing smacks, Jose. What are you doing right now?
Oh, sorry. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Cracking my knuckles.
Oh, okay. That's what that was. Jesus Christ. I'm like, what are you, Jose?
Sorry,
what are you doing right now during the stream? I just heard like
all this talk in the chat that Jose and some other people in the chat have about a dungeon. It makes me.
Hey. That's our sanctuary. Don't don't knock the dungeon until you try it, Eric. But it's invitation only. So
no. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I buy the whole thing of she's in the movie for less than 10 minutes, but it wouldn't shock me if like she's not as featured as probably.
Well, I mean, what did Colin Farrell say about his role? And that was way more than 5 minutes, I think, right? Him being in the Batman.
Oh
yeah, he said like, "Oh, I got a small role. I'm only in it for like a little bit," but then but I think it's because he was peppered throughout, like a good amount.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter he's only in there for like half an hour, but he feels like he's in there the whole movie. So
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if you do it just right, and I think like you said with Hannibal Lecter, if you actually were to.
You just compare Amber Heard to Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah,
Is that what you just did right now?
yeah, exactly.
He's created
No,
a
but I get what you're saying. But at the same time, it's like if you were to take, the runtime and actually add it up, you'd be like, wow, he's not in it for as much as you might think. Like a good filmmaker can take a character and pepper them through.
Yeah.
And it can make you feel like, oh wow, this person was in there for so many, but then you add it up and you go, holy shit, it was only like a quarter of the movie. What the fuck? That's crazy.
It's not so much about how much are they on screen, it's like how important of a role do they play.
Exactly.
Like, are they central to the plot, but they don't need as much screen time to accomplish what needs to accomplish?
Which might be the case too. It might be that case with her too. Like maybe they're like, as this journey is happening with Orm and Arthur, there's some kind of, they're calling back to Atlantis or something's happening, and you just see like glimpses throughout the whole movie. So it's gonna feel like she's very much a presence, but she's not in it that much,
And on that note, I am very curious as to how big a role Nicole Kidman's going to play, because we haven't heard that much about her.
True. That's true too. Yeah.
Or Tamara Morrison for playing Arthur's dad.
Because on the subject of James Wan maybe looking at Thor: The Dark World and going, I'm going to do a movie like that, but I'm going to do it better. Well, what would unify? What would make Orm and Arthur need to really like motivated to team up and work together against this common enemy? Well, they both love their mother. It's just like Thor and Loki.
Ooh, so I was listening. I can't remember where I heard this recently. Is there something in the comics where Black Manta kills Arthur's son or something like that at some point in the comics, like a baby child or something like that, or kills? Because I could totally see a situation where Black Manta kills either Arthur's father or Atlanta or someone else that's close to him. That really shows how serious he is on his revenge tour.
I do know that like the classic, like the storyline, especially since post-crisis, is that his son is in mortal danger, and in order to save him, like he's trapped. In order to save him, he has to Arthur has to cut off his hand.
That whole thing, that whole story arc, yeah. I don't know. Wouldn't that be insane if James Wan, how James Wan said like this is his last Aquaman? What if he just like goes off and like goes, yeah, I'm gonna have Arthur cut off his hand
and have the harpoon,
and that's it, and then you just like mic drop. All right, there you go. I did my Aquaman movies, so you guys deal with whatever.
The other thing
I think that would be fucking awesome if he did that.
The other thing I hope they dig into with this movie, which going back to the Young Justice comic, because the thing that is cool when they tend to do this, not just Aqualad, but any Atlantis related stuff they talk about in the show, like there's like magic that they learn, that the people learn how to do in Atlantis.
Yeah, even in the first season when they get into Dr. Fate and Mr. Kent and there's that episode where he goes missing and they go try to find him, and of course Wally's like, oh fucking what? Are you serious? Magic? No, it's all science. And then Aqualad's like, hey, even in my world there's hello.
And I mean, sorcery.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love it if like one dug into that. Like there's a whole
that'd be cool.
There's a whole thing of sorcery within Atlantis that we haven't even maybe saw glimpses of with Mira's powers, but like Mira's powers are based on some kind of sorcery that she's mastered, and like other Atlanteans learn that too.
And also like I loved in the first movie that when Manta, like when he reintroduces himself as Black Manta with the full suit on, how does he introduce himself to Arthur with a quote from H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah.
What's
like, oh, you know what? I just kind of like literally right now I kind of pieced it together in my head. That Aqualad series or movie, what is it? Do we know what it's gonna be?
Yeah, with produced by like Charlize Theron. Right?
Yes, produced by Charlize Theron, who posted on Instagram. Who was she hugging? That she was happy was on. She was hugging Jason Momoa because he joined the Fast and Furious franchise.
Okay.
And she's producing the Aqualad thing.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
It could be tied into. I mean, it could be. I hope it's tied into.
Well, it should be. Yeah.
They're saying it is, but it's not a definitive.
I hope it's Calder because Calder is such a cool character from Young.
It is gonna be. It is gonna be Calder.
Is it gonna be him? Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, you tie that
Didn't
in
think
with
about
the
that.
whole Black
Did not
Panther
think about
thing.
that. Did not think about that.
There's a lot
Okay.
of possibility, and just with that, you got a possibility of having a young Justice movie or series, because you got Aqualad, you got Blue Beetle's gonna have his own movie. You're bringing in Batgirl, you got Supergirl, you got even Shazam could be part of the. He's a kid, but if you watch Young Justice, there's certain episodes where what they call him Captain Marvel. He's over there
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out with them, with the Young Justice crew.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of possibilities.
A lot of.
And with Wonder Woman 3, you could introduce Donna Troy even in that movie, or somebody else.
And honestly, it would be so perfect that the girl that plays, young little Diana in the first two movies, like it would be like a nice bit of continuity to have her as Donna, because the whole point, Donna herself in the comics is a clone of Diana's. So it would be ideal to cast the actress who was like a younger Diana as her, like either her or the teenage Diana in the first movie.
Yeah.
But
the other thing too, as far as Aquaman goes, like, again, I'm not pro recast of Amber Heard, but I'm not against it either. If they decide to do it, I mean, we saw how Zach completely replaced Chris D'Elia with Tig Notaro. Yeah. James Wan is probably just as good at the CGI stuff, as, So if they want to do a last minute, like, hey, Emilia, we kind of need you to come in because we know you're gonna.
That's like the number one choice, right? Emilia Clarke. She's
yeah.
Like
I mean, because I know it's obvious, but like her face is kind of similar to Amber's, and we know she has great chemistry with Momoa. So
there's another actress that looks just like Amber. I forgot what her name was, but she.
So, but if they wanted to do that CGI, that the same kind of replacement process that Zach did, they got time. They could pull it off if they so chose, or they just say, we're going to play the movie out as it is, and then if they wanted to recast for a third movie.
Well, Aquaman 2 is before Flash, right?
Yeah.
So they could just be like, well, different timeline, no Amber Heard in this timeline.
Either way, or either that, but I also think if you
don't notice, yeah,
I think people won't. General audiences won't notice it that much. I don't think when they do that.
Well, I'll say this, like how soon? When is Aquaman 2 coming out?
March.
March. Next March.
Beginning of March. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll say
before Flash.
Yeah, depending on how soon it comes out, like depending on how deep we are, like the motion comic is in production, like I'm certainly going to be focusing on like what we were just talking about. Does it end with by him cutting off his hand and getting like the harpoon cut? Because look, the fact that Orm being imprisoned in the desert, the fact that was part of Zach's old storyboards, is like a link to the Snyderverse. So whether or not the movie ends with him having a harpoon hand we gotta make sure that the motion comic pays homage to that.
Let's hope. But moving on from that stuff, I mean, was there anything else that you guys like took from CinemaCon? I mean, obviously they screened Top Gun Maverick and everybody raved about it, and then we got Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I mean, when it came to Disney and stuff, I mean, obviously they had their stuff, and it wasn't anything like that like. Obviously, they showed their slate. They showed a Buzz Lightyear. Avatar, obviously, is like the big thing. I mean, we had a hefty conversation on the Vodka stream this past Friday about it. But well, I mean, even talk about like Avatar. What do you guys think? Do you think Avatar is actually going to? Is it going to be this big, huge thing that it was at one point?
It's funny. For the longest time, I was thinking Avatar. Who cares? But then, as I said on a previous stream, the family and I, like we all got, Disney annual passes. It was like earlier, and we and the first park we went to this year was Animal Kingdom, and there's that new section for Pandora, and we went to the rides, and and it is setting up the second movie, and this new, because it's set sometime after the first one, where it's where the humans and the Na'vi are like are working well together, and that's the setup for it. And when I was doing this ride, I was like, they could do this. This could work. The second movie could actually work. It actually work well. And that this being a new portion of Animal Kingdom, it was clearly like to remind people of this franchise, to get them interested in seeing the second movie. And I'm like, yeah, I could see it. It could work.
When did Avatar come out?
2008.
2009. Yeah.
I thought it was 8.
Yeah, it was 9, and it was. I know that because it crushed Princess and the Frog in the box office. That was 2008.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was 2008. Oh man.
I have no idea what to think.
Well, it was in movie theaters for a whole year, so it could have been.
It's one of those things
You're
where
right. It was 2009. I'm wrong. I thought it was 2008. Yeah, you're right. 2009.
I never want you. Don't bet against James Cameron. Number one. Number two. I mean, if they market it right, people will get interested in it. And I mean,
see what it looks like.
No one knew what the first Avatar was. No one knew what the first Avatar was when it was first coming out. So there's no reason to think that people couldn't get excited, with the proper build up to it. I don't think it'll do gangbusters like the first one did, but Avatar, I think it'll hit well enough for people to say like, yeah, that was good, and and Cameron knows what he's doing. He's committed to it. So
I mean, Avatar 1 was all right. Yeah, Avatar 1 was basically Dances with Wolves in space, right? But I will say this. But I will say this.
There's like 5 more on the way.
Yeah, I know. He's devoted his everything, his whole his energies into these new movies, to the point where, where it's like, and we're looking at this, okay, you spent how much time just prepping for these new Avatar movies, to the point where instead of we were hoping maybe it would have been great if Cameron had been the one to do a good Terminator sequel, and instead of him personally approving of movies that were crap.
Yeah. See, that's what I kind of worry about, because when it comes to James Cameron, I mean, like, in between all this, I mean, when it came to 2, sequels to Terminator that he fully backed up, and they both kind of just not know.
Dark Fate, and they're both crap. So
it's like Genesis was worse than Dark Fate. I thought Dark Fate, just because Sarah Connor was back, and I thought cool, but then at the same time they just went down the same fucking alleys that was like, all right, you're doing this, you're doing that, and it's like, god damn it, can you do something fucking different for once?
Salvation was the one sequel after the second one
that was different. It was different.
I rewatched that recently, and I was kind of like, this is way better than I remember it.
Oh yeah, it's better than the fucking than Genesis and Dark Fate, 100%. And Rise of the Machines, yes.
I feel like the Terminator Salvation was the hung up that people seem to have was just the CGI Arnold kind of towards the tail end. But I'm like, if that's the worst problem, the movie's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Because, but I think it had a little bit too much of all right, it was McG, so he was like, all right, we got to have a Transformer looking Terminator, and there's a lot of things where it's it got a little too crazy, but the initial story and plot was on point of where they should take the franchise.
Yeah.
But I think McG, being McG, was like, all right, well, we have to do something where we have this motorcycle Terminator and this huge Transformer, huge Terminator that does some shit. There was but the initial plot though about, John Connor trying to find his father, who is younger than him. That's awesome. It's all awesome. And even the fucking, when the CGI Arnold shows up and he fights him, I thought that was great. I thought that was fantastic.
In my rewatch, the Marcus Wright, which Sam Worthington or whatever. Yeah, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't get why there's so much focus on this character and whatnot. But rewatching it was kind of like, this actually kind of works. I get this being
half human, half cyborg,
or whatever.
No, I dug that plot. I mean, there was. The plot was there, but sometimes part of the execution wasn't, because it was probably because McG is McG. That's the thing.
but by contrast, all the other sequels completely destroy, you know, how the second movie ends with good Arnold like killing himself, destroying himself to prevent everything in the future from happening. And, you know, he gives his thumbs up, you know, him sacrificing himself to keep John safe. And then Dark Fate in particular craps on that.
Yeah, it kind
So
of does.
him sacrificing himself was all for nothing.
Well, I mean, like that opening scene in Dark Fate where like they just kill John Connor like so easily.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, I literally turned to my brother and went, dude, they just fucking wiped out the whole John Connor legacy in the first like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what
And
the
again,
fuck? I mean, like, I was like, dude, that's not the way to do it.
Did the writers of that realize that they were spitting on the good
totally
Arnold sacrifice at the end of the second movie?
Yeah, they shit on that whole thing. But you know what they should have did was like, all right, so somehow work. I mean, I like the whole story arc of what would a Terminator do if he had nobody to kill and he had to just blend in with humans. Yeah. That whole story arc, I thought, wow, please focus on that. And I like that aspect of the fact that, you know, this Arnie Terminator who's growing old, with like a family and stuff like that. I thought that was something unique and really cool, but it wasn't the main focus. It was still the normal, now we got the new savior of the humanity is this girl right here, and it's like the same old shit. It just turned into the same old shit, even though they had that little subplot, which I thought should have been the main plot because that was something unique and different. I don't know. That's just me.
But again,
the problem is because you want the ending of Terminator 2 to have
meaning,
to have meaning, which means the possibility of Skynet coming into operation has been done. But in order to have a continuation of a story, you have to have Skynet come about somehow. Yeah. So it's like, it just makes it that the ending of you can't prevent Skynet from happening no matter what, which does take away the meaning of the end of the second movie. So I really don't know how I think you just have to do it. Say like they stopped it, but like the future that was going on in between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, that's what you just continue to play with, like what Salvation tried to do. But I have no idea.
Ironically, of all the bad sequels, the one that did what you just described, Carrie, best was Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, it did have it had a shocking ending. I do respect the ending of Terminator: Rise of the Machines because it was like the Terminator, you know, the good Terminator was trying to lead them to, oh yeah, you got to get to this bunker. And this is the mainframe of Skynet. And when they got there, it was like, wait a minute, this is just a bomb shelter. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, he led us here to survive. And then you see that last shot of like the Earth and all the nuclear bombs going off. And I'm like, that was a pretty, even though it has its problems throughout, you know, talk to the hand, even though I thought that was kind of funny.
It's been years.
Yeah,
but
it had like a pretty cool ending. And I was like, wow, that was a pretty cool ending because it didn't prevent the war, but the Terminator made it where the two main people of the resistance were going to survive, even though the war was postponed. It's like, oh, but so I thought that was pretty cool. Even though Nick Stoltz, like, he just was like such a fish out of the water because he didn't resemble Edward Furlong really at all. So that's what really fucked it up. There was bad casting. You know, it's like, I get it. Edward Furlong had troubles and still, you know, who knows, but cast somebody who looks more like Edward Furlong, not, you know, and they didn't do a good job at casting. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm just glad I never watched these movies, so I don't have these songs.
You've been quiet.
I'm listening to you guys. Like, you know, it's funny. It's funny that we're having Terminator talk because I actually put on T2 earlier.
T2 is so fucking excellent. My God.
HBO Max has the extended cut. With
the extended is it's so much
deleted. You know, they put in the deleted scenes of.
There's some good deleted scenes in that shit, man. I tell you, the Michael Biehn scene, man.
I was watching it and I was thinking, just like, wow, the '90s. Remember those days? Where Arnold just comes out of the bar and they start playing Bad to the Bone.
Yeah.
And you don't cringe, you just because it was awesome. Bad to the Bone. And it's like 35 minutes into this movie, you're having this crazy chase with the truck and John on the bike, and it's like, wow, this is insane. And it doesn't stop from there; it just keeps going.
That's what makes that movie just so iconic, man.
The idea of like the Terminator's liquid metal, like who would have? Only Cameron can conceive of
moment
like that.
where John asks Arnold is like, "Do you have to keep killing people?" Of course, I'm a Terminator.
Yeah. Yes.
And by the way, it is just so perfect. By the way, T-1000 is Peacemaker's dad, which is
yeah. Robert Patrick, man, love Robert Patrick. Man.
There you go. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
No, but
like,
go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, once we're done with Terminator, I'd love to talk about more some Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, CinemaCon. I was like, anything else like from CinemaCon that stuck out?
Black Adam for sure. I mean, I was just happy that everything was just getting like, people were hyped for what they were seeing. They were like looking forward to the movies that were gonna come out. With Shazam connecting the world a little more. Yeah. If you guys read or saw the description, he's like, dreaming that he's on a date with Wonder Woman, and all that stuff. I want to see how more, because I mean, Shazam, the first Shazam, was in that world. You could tell. Well, I mean, even if you couldn't tell, they had the little Easter eggs and all that stuff. So yeah, I want to see what more world building they do with that, and then Black Adam just, except.
I was thinking this about
Oh, okay. Because I saw like one of the one thing that stuck out to me was the whole that line that apparently Hawkman is the one that says it to Black Adam, that heroes don't kill, and then Black Adam's like, yeah, but I do. And can you imagine The Rock saying that? And I was like, wow, okay.
And a lot of people got like kind of upset about that. It's like, wait a minute, there's been heroes that killed. But then even The Rock. Yeah, even The Rock like responded to somebody. I saw it on Twitter. He goes, "Yeah, but you got to understand the context. I want to kill people. When it comes to heroes, sometimes they, he's basically The Rock was like, you got to realize the context of it, and it's like, because he's not a good guy. Black Adam's supposed to be not a good guy. When actual heroes do kill people, it's like, yeah, I know that's always like the biggest fucking thing that is a discourse on the timeline. And then of course people are like, well, wait a minute, it's like, shut up, stop.
Just give us characters that just kill everyone. Just kill everyone. Because this whole no killing rule is just just messes everything up. Just kill everyone. Because look, the Avengers don't got to worry about that, because the Avengers kill everybody.
Yeah,
they blow everybody up. Superman can't kill. That's no Batman. He can't kill. No, he can paralyze you, but he can't kill.
Yeah. He can give you like a debilitating disability, but
he'll give you a fate worse than death. But no, don't ever kill him. Don't ever kill.
But anyway, like briefly going back to a Shazam, and in his dream of making out with Diana, I was like, I'll just say this. Before people was like, but wait a minute, isn't Barry kind of young for Diana? I'm just like, remember that line from Zack Snyder's Justice League? Every guy's a younger guy.
Billy?
Yeah, that was such a great line. The way that Ray delivered that, so like dry. I laughed my ass off the first time I saw that, and still laugh at it, because I still think that's one of the funniest lines in Zack Snyder's Justice League. The way that because he delivers it so fucking dry. And it's perfect. It's perfect.
It's just matter of fact.
Yeah, he's all, everybody's younger. It's like, and I just laugh, and it just cuts to the next scene. I'm like, perfect. That is such great humor right there.
I just love how every movie is different. Man of Steel and BVS and Justice League are all completely like different types of movies.
Well, look at Zack Snyder's movies in general. I mean, they're all he tries to do like new things with each movie.
But you know what? There is people that they're not really like, I mean, yeah, of course, Justice League is to me it's great. It's a great movie. But there is still some fans, maybe the more hardcore fans, that are like, is this really Zack's movie that he wanted? Because the studio did tell him, and what how he always said in the interviews that Justice League was going to be more lighthearted than BVS. BVS was like what do you always used to say? You used to compare it to Star Wars.
Darkest one. It's going to be the darkest one.
Yeah, BVS was the darkest movie, and then it's going to be lighter from there on. And there are some people that are like that. For example, that joke. Would that joke have been in the true Zack Snyder Justice League movie? Would Flash be making a joke like that about trying to get at Wonder Woman?
I mean, there was changes that happened, sure, but at the same time, it's like, he did change it, but he changed it but he still pushed some boundaries. And then even with the stuff that he added to it, like with Lois charred up and Superman holding her, I mean, I was like, that's not going to happen. And Garza was like, it's going to happen. And then when it happened, I was like, fuck, I got to hear from Garza now.
Hold on. Although Garza was talking about it like it was going to be part of the main events of the movie.
Yeah.
And no, I was the one that said, if it is going to happen, it's going to be
hashtag Garza's always wrong.
Garza was also saying he didn't think the "I'm rich" line was gonna
be in the movie.
Yeah. He thought, he's like, that's too funny. That's too cheesy for Terrio. No, it's not.
Unless we forget, he was also the guy saying that Clark was still going to be the father. So
yeah, he also said that was Two-Face. Let's keep going. Everybody said the thing that Garza's been wrong about.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny when he found out on the Vodka stream that was not Two-Face. His face, he was like,
"We love you, Garza." Just saying.
Wait, what?
That was hilarious. I love Garza. Because I like he's just so like I love his opinions and everything like that. But it's always funny too when when things like that happen and it's like it kind of catches them a little off guard a little bit. So no, but Garza does great. He'll have some great opinions on things, and then of course his trailers and stuff that he's working on. That's why I love the guy. But when it comes to Zack, I've always even said it too, is like when I look at the trilogy of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I just compare it to the original Star Wars trilogy. I'm like, Man of Steel is very much like A New Hope. Empire is BVS, and then Jedi is fucking, is actually just the tone is very much feels like that to me, in the sense of now. That's what I think about it, and that's why BVS is still my favorite of the three.
The thing is, we got to remember too, is like this movie was filmed. Like he didn't do any reshoots and he didn't get a chance to do any reshoots.
No.
Or the only thing he did was the nightmare scene.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he added. That was completely new. The nightmare scene.
I mean, yes. If Warner Brothers didn't touch the thing, and it came out when it was supposed to come out and the way it was supposed to come out, it would have been different. 100%.
I've seen some people that I saw some reviews of the movie when it came out saying that, I'm sure it helped Zack that he had all this time in between, and that that he had a lot of hindsight, but not really, because the movie was already done. It was filmed.
Yeah,
this movie
it would have had a couple of different scenes. It would have had a couple of different kind of scenes. That's about it.
Even if a 4-hour cut of this movie wouldn't have come out in 2017, whatever he filmed, that was what was going to come out.
Yeah. That was going to come out. And then even like the additional nightmare stuff, he even said it before. He said it on the Vox stream, where it's like he had this idea that he was thinking about in this time between all the filming and now, where he was like, man, I want to have a scene in the nightmare world where there is this Joker, Deathstroke, and people of the nightmare team. So he's like, and then that's why he approached Jared Leto. It's like, hey, would you want to do this? And Jared Leto was all about it. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten that if it got released in 2017 fully. Like, we wouldn't have gotten that. That was something that was added on.
Yeah. And now that we do have it, that Bruce in the main timeline already knows from this vision, I have to die in Lois's place. Like, if we had just gotten it, gotten this movie when we should have gotten it, it would have been something he would have had to figure out in the next movie, like from the future. And then send Barry back, and he has to figure out, and that the reason Lois dies is because he wasn't there to die in Lois's place. But now that he knows, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's all crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick. I mean,
looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I think we all are now with the pot. I mean, we knew it was going to be good, but man, people who saw it at CinemaCon are just like going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, and I've said this before. It's like, look, when it was supposed to come out, this was like before the pandemic. The release date, it was going to be around Father's Day, and it would have been so perfect because I've said this in the chat that my dad, when it came out, when the first one came out, my dad's like a big Top Gun fan. And like when I was a kid, he would keep on it from Blockbuster and we would see it over and over and over again. So, he loved that movie. So I was like, I told dad, is okay, Father's Day or around, or I forget, like when was supposed to come out? It was either around Father's Day or around Dad's birthday.
No.
So it's going to be my present to you is like, we're going to go see it and we're going to see it on me. And then the pandemic hit, so it didn't happen. But now it's coming out kind of sort of around Father's Day. So I'm saying, okay, where it should be.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. And was there anything else that, like, Jose, is there anything else besides, the Warner Brothers stuff that stuck out for you?
No, not really. That was mainly the most that I was like, I was waiting to see what was going to happen with that.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it sounds like I can't wait to watch these movies. I just want to watch these movies already.
I will say I was listening to Sean O'Connell's Real Blend podcast.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, crazy, right?
Right.
And he was talking about how they showed I don't know if it was just an extended trailer or if like the first 20 minutes of Lightyear. And
they showed 20 minutes.
Like, so basically, like the Lightyear movie is the movie that young Andy would have seen that made him want to buy the toy. I was like that, and from what Sean was saying, he I think he even said in the podcast he wasn't fully bought into the idea beforehand. Then after seeing the trailer or extra footage or whatever they showed, he's like, okay, I'm in. This looks like a ton of fun. Like I would totally buy into this being like Andy's Star Wars, in the Toy Story universe. So that excites me. I look forward to that.
By the way, because I've been talking a lot about how one of the things that I've been itching, I've been wondering, why has Disney Plus not had this on yet? Like because one of them was the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command animated series, which I really think of as one of the shows I really loved as a kid. So, and one of the things that weirded me out about the show was that, look, when the animated movie comes out, there's this idea that the lines imply that Buzz, helped found Star Command, that he wrote half the regulations and so on. But in the show, there's a show where he talks about his backstory, where he became a story about how he became a picture. It was like, hey, how does that work out? Did they just forget what they wrote in the movie? And then I saw the second trailer in this movie where he goes into the future where the Star Command he was a part of is gone, and he has to rebuild it back up. As like, now it suddenly starts to make sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'm
looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I guarantee you there's going to be a Woody type movie that's going to be.
That would be a lot of fun. Woody's Roundup. Woody's Roundup movie or Disney Plus series of like what the television show was.
Yeah.
Or that would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, when it came to, like the biggest things that came to CinemaCon was, of course, WBD. All that stuff was, the biggest stuff. But yeah, Top Gun, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and Tom Cruise being, and then of course there was John Wick 4, which I've been, retweeting some of the Keanu Reeves like clips, and that guy just gives a vibe where you just go, oh my god, I just want to hug. If I were to see Keanu Reeves in person, I'd just be like, can I have a hug? I'd be like, Dr. Evil, can I have a hug?
We gotta take a picture of that.
Because he's just such a big fucking teddy bear. My God. He's just so good. He's so excited.
Make sure someone goes with you.
Yeah.
So that they can take a picture.
It was recorded. Yeah. And I'm sure Keanu Reeves would be like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, because he's so enthusiastic, at his age. He's so just so jazzed up about John Wick Chapter 4, which so am I. And it sucks that the Matrix, the Resurrections didn't get as the praise as it did, even though I enjoyed it. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I just love his enthusiasm for all this shit.
Keanu Reeves is in this really cool place where he is just excited about everything he's doing, which is the best. Not every actor gets to do that. And he probably, he had to pay his dues, of course, for years, I'm sure. But like, whether it's John Wick or, he's got a comic book out called Berserker.
Yeah,
and apparently has been optioned for a Netflix series that he's gonna like star and help in. So they're like, between that and him Netflix. Being able to like be involved in a creator own thing with a comic and bringing it to life on a TV show, he's got to be like, my life is amazing.
Well, let's hope it's not Netflix, because then it'll only be one season. One season, they'll get rid of it. No, I was gonna say that.
The only good thing that Netflix is doing right now is working with Zach. Other than that, they're just shooting them in the foot over and over and over.
Yeah. I was gonna say that CinemaCon also, well, at least for me, giving me like, it's like there's a possibility of even movies being created because of what happened at CinemaCon. I want to see the story of the guy that gave Olivia Wilde those papers on stage. That's like a series, right? That's like get Ryan Murphy and like give me that series of the guy that like he just made
of that.
There has to be. Somebody had to record.
Well, yeah, there's the images of her holding the envelope. Yeah.
She's all smiling to them.
Yeah. I just want to see the footage. Like, what is this?
Yeah, wait until she's off stage to walk up to her and give her the stuff. Seriously, what is stupid idea?
You know what? Get Seth Rogen to play the guy, because that was his character in his character in Pineapple Express.
Oh yeah, or that, yeah.
Remember he used to have he had a lot of costumes. He even gave a doctor while he was having surgery.
Definitely that. Yeah, but I think it was a decent CinemaCon, and hey, William, we're about to wrap it up, but hey,
I figured, what's with the Sunday Night Madness, man?
Never mind.
I know, man.
I thought you went to bed at like 6 on Sundays or something.
Yeah.
You know what? It was one of those things where I was like, I wanted to because I had 6 hour vodka stream before, and I was like, I don't know if I want to stream tonight. And then Jose was like, I'm going to the game. I hope he doesn't have it tonight. And I went, all right, we'll do it Sunday.
Yeah, that's my fault.
So, yeah, it's all Jose's.
I made it happen. Well, William, you're here now, so you can.
Well, how come you didn't go to CinemaCon, man? Loser? No, I'm just kidding.
I know I should. I know next year, if it's in Vegas again next year, I'm gonna try to make it.
Well, it's in Vegas every year, I think, but it's not.
Is it in Vegas every year? I thought it was always like different spots.
No, it's been in Vegas for a while. But here's the thing, though. Getting access isn't a problem. It's that $1,000, because even if you get the access, you still got to pay.
Yeah, you still gotta pay some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem with this year is the only thing I really wanted to see was Top Gun Maverick. That's the movie I've been waiting for 3 years, and there's 20 days, and we're doing a screening here for it already. So there was really nothing there, and they make it expensive for a reason, because, like I said, it's not a fan type of thing. But really, nothing. Everything that they announced this year, we pretty much already knew, though. Like, you knew there was going to be the Batman. There's going to be 3 Batman. So it's like,
well, you haven't been hyped about anything, William. So that's nothing new.
The only know is that the only new news was Frosty goes up to He Who Shall Not Be Named and said, "Was there a new Superman?" And says, "We're working on it."
Oh God!
Because he's gone.
Those are all things I can get from YouTube or internet rumors. Though
when he tweeted that, it was like, all right, you're just trying to fucking. What are you doing here, buddy? What exactly are you saying right here?
Besides, what would Emmerich know? I mean, he's going to be gone in November, no matter what Jose says.
Oh, what I say? It's what articles have said, Eric.
I'll say this again. They could sign literally a 1,000-year contract. It doesn't matter. He's an employee.
Yeah.
The orders come from the top, and he's not the top. So I really don't care if he stays here. Or Armada could stay around in the 90s.
But that we were so sure of that, like when Jason Keelar came in, and then what happens is just defer to him. So.
No, the problem with the big difference between Jason Keelar and what David Zaslav is Jason Keelar had a parent company for the most part, and that company pretty much left the studio to make bad decisions. I don't get the sense that David Zaslav is like his 2 predecessors have been, and you don't have AT&T involved. and he's a hands-on guy. I mean, he is immediately hands-on. So really, Toby Emmerich is, like I said, he's an employee. If the employer tells the employee to do something, all he is an execution end. You get it done. This is my vision. You execute it. That's all he is.
And hopefully they do make the DC Studios as its own operating film studio. Like if they can actually make that happen, then decision-making abilities are outside of Emmerich's hands completely.
Yeah, that needed to happen 9 years ago. So but I'm glad that's
have a good leader and not a Jeff Johns type as the leader.
No. Yeah. Well, they need a filmmaker. They need a filmmaker.
Yeah, because people keep on saying Jim Lee, and I'm like, no, not Jim Lee.
Jim Lee needs to be in the room. He needs to be in the conversation.
Yeah, he needs to be part of the discussion, but he doesn't need to be the leader of all.
He always is.
And, something just hit me, and with all the talk about, what if it's Zach or what if it's Dev? No one's brought this up. What if Jay Oliver was the head?
Well, he doesn't have a movie making history like that. You need a film exec for this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did Feige before though?
Feige was a film exec from all the way up to 1998, all the way up till now.
But I was just saying, has he made a film though?
No,
he's been a producer.
He's been involved in the production process somehow.
Okay. I mean, okay. But so we need somebody who's like kind of in the same category as him, I guess you could say. Is like he's been in the ranks, and I don't know. It just seems like anytime anybody discusses this, they always throw names out. And when they say Deborah, and I'm like, Deborah doesn't want to do that. Deborah is going to be, making movies with her husband right now over at Netflix. It's like
she's never ran a studio. She
never ran a studio. Yeah. And maybe at one point, where maybe she would have been down for that, but now I don't think she'd be down for that, especially after what happened.
Part of a creative committee for sure.
Yeah.
So.
You would probably be somebody we haven't even heard of. We could get he's going to retire, but the people you probably would get for this position are probably people who are not household names to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Most film executives aren't household names, but you need somebody who wants to run the nuts and
bolts. Whoever he appoints, I'm just going to be like, all right, there you go, that's fine, because I don't know who the fuck that is. Sounds like if he knows, good, fine.
Yeah. That's a good point, because who knew the name Kevin Feige before?
Nobody did.
Nobody.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was a part of X-Men, obviously, right? He was a part of the boom that started this whole CBM, world we live in now. And then of course he just now he's like the name of the CBM boom that we're in part now.
And one thing about Kevin Feige, it's not Kevin Feige, it's the backing that he's had. Kevin Feige is good at what he's done, but Kevin Feige without backing is basically a Warner Brothers rep. And that's the difference between if Kevin Feige were anywhere else but where he's at, we wouldn't know who he was.
All right, but they had that who was the guy that was in charge he was like problematic and he got canceled, because I'm sure Feige would have wanted to have a Black Widow movie a long time ago, but there was this guy that he held it back because he didn't think it was going to do well.
Are you talking about Ike Perlmutter?
Whoever the guy that was in charge of like Marvel or something, he was like a president or something, making decisions.
So when Disney bought Marvel Studios, Ike Perlmutter was the head of the Marvel Entertainment Group. Kevin Feige was still head of the Marvel Studios, but he had to report to Ike Perlmutter. And Perlmutter was one of the people who didn't believe like a Black Panther movie or a Captain Marvel or a female-led superhero movie could work. And somewhere around the time of Avengers Age of Ultron, or maybe leading up to Captain America Civil War, is when Bob Iger kind of stepped in and said, okay, we're going to make it so Kevin Feige only reports to Alan Horn and me, and basically remove that red tape of him having to, because Perlmutter is located in New York. Feige's trying to make the movies in Burbank. Try and have that cross communication when Perlmutter's not a studio exec, really. Yeah. So Bob Iger talked about that in his book, his memoirs, about how he felt like there was this disagreement between the people running Marvel Entertainment in New York, which is probably Perlmutter, and then Feige, and so he made the decision of like, Feige's just going to report to Alan Horn and me, and then now
they've drifted back,
and that freed him up tremendously.
Yeah. But see, what they've done with Chapek, though, has gone back to that because he's had now Feige has several layers in between him. He's not the at one point he was the final decision maker on everything. He's not. He can get shut down from several different levels now. I don't know how that's going to work out, especially with Chapek being a bit of a ass. But everybody's got a boss.
Chapek's response that Chapek did not handle well in Florida. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you guys this. So they say they want a Kevin Feige type guy, right, at DC. Well, saying that how this timeline is going forward or whatever, whoever this person is, they're gonna come into Michael Keaton being the the main Batman or whatever. What do you mean? What do you mean? No.
I don't think Michael Keaton's going to be the main Batman. I think
he's going to be like the main. Obviously he's going to be the big draw. Michael Keaton is Batman. He's not going to be Batman. He's probably not going to suit up or whatever. But this is the way the timeline is going forward. So what I want to ask is, this Kevin Feige type of guy, to you, what would you want him to do? What does that mean to you? A Kevin Feige guy coming into the DC world.
Day one, minute one, hour one is put a halt to everything that he doesn't want to see go forward. Kind of like what's happening now with the delay. Reorganize, re-engineer. Take a look at what you have that's 90% of the production, all the stuff that is done, and see what you want to continue and what you don't want to continue. There's stuff that you want to keep. Use all your levels, all your assets of Warner Brothers and Warner Discovery to connect these things to make people excited about them so that these movies aren't just turds in a pool drifting further and further apart from each other. Make people excited about this. So the next DC movie I step into, when I step out of it, I need to be stepping out of it the same way I felt for No Way Home. And now the Batman is great, but the Batman is only great for the Batman. It's going to be 2, maybe 3 years before another The Batman comes out. There's a whole lot of wasted space with their IPs that really need to be taken advantage of. And a lot of this Blue Beetle talk and a lot of this other stuff, the Blue Beetle on its own is a joke. The Blue Beetle connected to an atmosphere that you've gotten people excited about could be an asset. It's all how you put things together. And right now, if I'm him, I put a halt to things. I take a look at it, and then I announce a plan, and I keep the fans engaged. There's too much in between where they haven't communicated with the fans. I think the head of DC Films needs to be communicating with the fans every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, he should be talking so that we hear it from the horse's mouth. Instead of hearing all these guys, no offense to YouTubers, because we're all on the screen, but DC puts out so little information that it leaves gaps and canyons for bullshitters to put information in instead of hearing it from the horse's mouth. And when you hear it from the horse's mouth, you can be like, okay, that's really cool. I'm excited about Shazam. You know what? I'm excited about Black Adam. I'm excited about The Flash now. Connect these things in a way that we ramp up to stuff instead of just having these turds floating. Here's a separate turd here. Standalone.
That's what they're doing. That's why they're
failing. That's why they're failing.
No, that's what they're doing with the movies, that they're all going to be connected.
Oh, no. Okay. I thought you meant that's what they're doing with the
No. I mean, what's the last movie? What's the last movie on the slate? What's the last movie on the slate right now?
Last movie?
Because Flash comes out in June. Nothing comes out after Flash, right? Just Batgirl.
I don't think any. I think they're reevaluating stuff.
I think Batgirl.
That's the last thing that was filming was Batgirl, right? That's the last thing that just got wrapped filming.
And that's
so from Batgirl, then you got all these other movies that have been announced or whatever. So let's say all these movies are going to be in the same place. So after Batgirl,
if they happen, they may not happen. That's what I mean.
No, what do you mean? They're already filmed.
Batgirl is going to happen.
The fact Batgirl is going to happen, but after Batgirl and the Flash, what else is? All you have is announcements.
That's what I'm trying to picture in my head. Like, what's going to be after Batgirl?
The Batman,
or even Blue Beetle, whatever. What's going to happen?
Blue Beetle,
right? And one surefire thing that would give fans a lot of confidence, because people have been wanting this for years and years and years, and they just sat on this, is a Superman. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
Cavill Superman, because we've been talking. We want Man of Steel, and like Henry Cavill is perfect. We have a perfect Superman. Why are you not giving him anything? We need him.
Well, like I said on one of the streams, I said that if Superman is going to be in Black Adam, I mean, even if they say it's hinted. If he shows up as a cameo, they have to announce something. Then you got the Flash movie, which is you could spin off perfectly with Supergirl and have Superman in that movie too, or just put Supergirl in Superman's movie and go from there, and keep that going.
Because there's this constant second guessing of these constant, these scoops and like that. Oh, he's gone for good. No, he's coming back. Oh, he's being given all these cameos and all these separate movies. No,
because we don't hear it from the horse's mouth. We hear it from
that's like what. Yeah, I would love, like William said, I would love an announcement one day.
That's the thing that to William's point that I think the head of a DC Studios needs to be doing. Like part of the reason why Kevin Feige is so well known is he's been out front of every single Marvel. He appears at Comic-Con for those panels. He's in the behind the scenes material. He's in all the press junket interviews. He's
the man owns hundreds of hats.
What's that?
Yeah.
He has a hat for every event.
Yeah, exactly. So he's out there in front of every single one, whereas we never see any of the Warner Brothers. We've never seen the one time we've seen Walter Hamada make a public appearance was at the DC Fandom a year and a half ago. That was the first time we've heard. That was the first time I heard what his voice actually sounds like. Was the time he appeared to that panel. So whoever the DC head of DC Studios, if it becomes that, doesn't even need to be a comic book person. They just need to be an executive that knows how to like organize and coordinate things and make it feel like it's cohesive, make it feel, and then be the person out in front saying, this is how this connects to this is how this connects over here. These things are separate. These things are.
And why you should buy in.
There's this universe over here. There's this universe over here.
Yeah, and why you should
the tracks we're going
money on this.
See, but that comes to like how much do you want to tell people? Because right now, what is it? The rumor of all this stuff with the Flash and with Affleck supposedly being in this post-credit scene, teasing that he's on a different he's still alive and he's in a different universe, and they're saying that it's probably going to lead up to a Crisis event. So do you want the guy to come out and be like, yeah, so we're going to do Crisis in a couple of
I would.
Yeah, that would probably, because isn't that because I mean that's what they did with like Endgame, right? They were like, or Infinity
War. They're like, hey, we're gonna get to this point
this is what that would be. Yeah, that would be great. That would make an announcement at that, and so everyone, okay, so they're gonna do Crisis. Well, what does that mean? Who's gonna be in it? What movies are next? What characters are coming back? That'd be cool.
The thing that they really need to do, and I think that would help a lot of people who've been disenfranchised, if they need to know that everything that they watched wasn't a waste of time. There's going to be an ending to what you saw, and that's why when people come up with 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't finish Zack Snyder's story arc, I got one good one, because people who are watching want to see you finish what you started before they have any faith of anything that you're going to do. This is an elephant in the room. They've been dancing around the holy trinities of these characters for so long. Blue Beetle, this, Yellow Beetle, all this other stuff, anything but the main characters, and nobody's going to have faith in any of these.
Put some respect on Yellow Beetle.
Yellow Beetle.
Until you finish something, it's like why am I going to eat your next meal when you're a chef that only gave me half the steak? You know what? If you finish the story arc and use that as a basis going forward, whatever direction you're going to have, you have credibility. And that's DC's film's biggest problem, is they don't have any credibility. And Zaslav put it perfectly. Why are we 5, 6, 7, 8 years without another Superman movie or even an appearance by him? If you exclude Zack Snyder's Justice League, which wasn't released mainly in theaters, we haven't had a Superman since how long? Two of your main characters. And we've always been put with DC in the mode of settling. We get the Batman. Why did we get the Batman? Even as great as the Batman was, why did we get it? Because we didn't get the Batman we were planning. Why are we getting Supergirl? Because we haven't gotten Superman. We seem to be in a footing, and even general fans, not just geeks, general fans know when they're settling for something, when there's an A product out there and they're settling for a B product. So they really need to focus on their A product and putting it front and center.
Yeah. Thank you, Will, because you don't know how many times, like I've been seeing people saying, well, they need to reboot everything. They need to start fresh because, you don't have any more of this baggage. No, we want what we have to have meant something.
Yeah.
So we didn't waste our time. If you do a complete reboot and a fresh start, or to get rid of all this baggage, you means that all our resources, it basically means we were wasting our time before.
If I woke up tomorrow and I was the head of DC, honestly, the first thing I would do is, you know, say that we're gonna keep going with the Snyderverse and keep going with this other direction too. They're both gonna be going at the same time.
Yeah.
And whoever's more popular, whatever the fuck, doesn't really matter because we're all getting DC content that we want.
But the thing is,
maybe we don't even know we need it. We don't. Maybe we don't want it, but we don't even know yet that we do need it because it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good movies, good content.
But then the thing is, you as the executive who's making that decision needs to make that extremely crystal clear
loud
to the audiences. Be it
Yeah.
loud and clear. It's like we are doing two parallel universes. There's this cast over here. There's this cast over here. Sometimes there's a little bit of crossover with maybe Jason and Gal, but like this universe is going this direction. This universe is going this direction, and we'll probably end maybe at some point. Who knows? And then there's like the Batman and like in between.
That's an Elseworlds.
Yep.
See, what I would do the first day, I would be like, you know what, we're gonna forget restore the Snyderverse. We're gonna resolve the Snyderverse. We're going to give it its end.
Ooh, I like that one.
Resolve the Snyderverse.
Hashtag.
Right. New hashtag. New hashtag.
You get the beginning, you get your middle. And
Although I want Cavill to make a bunch of Man of Steel sequels.
That's fine. But here's my plan. Here's my plan. Once we end with that story arc. In the HBO Max, I put that universe in HBO Max, and I skip 5 years ahead, and then the Divergent universe is for the big screen. That way, you have a time gap where a lot of stuff can be explained and happening, but in this Divergent universe, your PG-13 universe, where you want to make your general audiences happy, then you do your Cavills, then you do your big screens, but you always reserve that middle universe for the things that, you know, you don't want to have those kind of limitations on. So you there's a lot of stuff. We constantly saying Zack Snyder's Justice League, but that basis for a universe, there's a lot of stories that could be told on HBO Max now. You know, Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, Legion of Superheroes. You could use that universe as a root universe for 1,000 years forward. You could do a lot of things that and tell stories in series format that you cannot explain on the big screen in 2 and 3 hours that you have. You know, that's a problem with series versus movies. I'm a fan of series because it gives the directors and the creators time to flesh out things. You don't have to do everything in 1 or 2 hours. You got 9, you got 10 hours, and you can grow on a character that may have sucked in episode 1, but in episode 9, you got 8 episodes to analyze them. So I would have that content on HBO Max, and then I would have the general content, have all your Cavill, have all your colorful stuff, have it on the big screen. You know, and you can have your cake and eat it too. They just got to organize and brand them. Let them know every time when you watch Game of Thrones and you see that frizzy screen come up, that HBO come up, you know you're about to see some shit. And that's the kind of branding you can attach to that type of comic book storytelling while still having your big screen stuff, because you can only make so many movies a year. But you got to keep fans engaged. Series keep fans engaged all year long. Movies keep them engaged at most every 4 months. Even when you're putting them out, even if you put out 3 movies a year, that's every 4 months. You still want people, you know, eating up your content. And like I said, just and explain it. You know, people say, well, that's going to be too confusing. Yeah, if you're a fucking idiot, it is.
Yeah.
But if you have someone like a director or somebody who's in charge on your YouTube channel every Wednesday explaining what this universe is, what it means, what it does, and all that, like they've been explaining in DC for 80 years, people aren't, you know, people will take it if you give it to them, right? With DC just doesn't have that. We get our news from bullshit experts. We get our news from scoopers. We don't get our news with anybody with a DC Films or Warner Brothers title above their name, and that's the biggest issue. All this could work.
What are you talking about, William? I'm paid by Warner Brothers. What are you?
Yeah,
but you know what? And if that were the case,
and they couldn't get you a CinemaCon.
I can't. Apparently,
you know. But like I said, it's the problem where I heard a rumor here or this. We don't know what the hell's going on with the Flash. We haven't heard one drop of anybody legit about what's going to go on with the Flash, and that's their fault. That's DC Films' fault that we're having to go to Scooper number 1 or YouTube channel number 2. That's their fault because they don't take control of their content.
William, you saw that.
Seriously, Will, you got so much business sense in everything you've explained. You've got more business sense than any of those people running DC right now. They ought to hire you as the character.
No, I've never made a movie though. But what were you going to say, Jose? You were saying something?
Are you caught up with like everything the description of the Flash trailer that they showed? Are you caught up with everything?
Yeah, I had somebody who was here in Vegas that went to it and saw it, and
and it didn't do anything to you. It didn't do anything else for you.
No, because it's out of context. That's the problem.
Right.
The stuff that they show you in these breakups and these things that are out of context. Even if they show you long breaks of it, you're not seeing the whole movie. And that's why when people say, "Oh, it's spoiled for," it's not. Until you see put together.
My thing is when these people were like, you know, they tweeted out what they saw and everything. Oh, Michael Keaton, and then everybody spun that shit as like, oh, this is a Michael Keaton Batman movie. This isn't even a Flash movie, and this and that and blah blah. It's like, no, dude, you're just reading a tweet of a guy that's excited because he saw Michael Keaton. This is the Flash movie. They showed the Flash. They didn't. It's not like they didn't show him in the trailer or whatever.
Be careful about the people who are getting excited at CinemaCon about Keaton. Listen, Keaton was my Batman. I grew up with him. That was 33 fucking years ago. Yeah. Problem with this is the median age for the people that were showing up at CinemaCon are not your necessarily median retail demographic. I'm not saying that Keaton sucked. I'm not saying that at all. But understand when you see people spreading excitement, where their age median is versus where the target audience should be. So if you're selling this to the median retail age of 18 to 35, which is where the heart of your demographic money is, none of those people were alive or barely in diapers when he said, "Let's get nuts." Be careful. Not saying it's going to turn out well at all, but the excitement is being driven by people who that means something to. You see what I mean? So it's just, you got to take that with a grain of salt.
True that. And I think Jose is like opening up a bag of something. I don't know what he's doing, but I hear the noises.
Well, it's my stash.
Dude.
Yeah. Or he's about to see, he's packing
my
a
food
bowl
is
right
here.
now.
My food is here.
Oh, is that what it is? What'd you get?
I got some Taco Bell.
Okay, good. Hey, there's nothing wrong with some Taco Bell. I people hate on Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell.
It depends on where you're in.
Bell's
Southern
delicious.
California.
Better than Del Taco. 100%.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Better
true.
than Taco Bus, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
When I'm in LA, I like to go to the places that aren't chains. And when I'm in Southern
Yeah,
California,
of course. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna
Those
get
are
some
really-
Mexican food, you're gonna get some Mexican food. But anyways, guys, I think we'll wrap it up right here because okay, what were we gonna say, Eric?
I was just saying, Abuelos is great if you want Mexican food.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, but you talking about in California?
No, I'm in Florida.
Florida. I was about to say, I was like, I don't know if that's in or out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, I'd never heard that. Is that in California? Anyways, no, but I'm sure, Florida probably has some bomb ass Mexican food too. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure of that.
But they have some higher taxes too. You have fun with that. Some really higher taxes.
Here's the thing. Well,
yeah, you started it.
Nobody is bringing up, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, is that the whole repealing of the self-governance thing. That's not going to happen for a year.
It's not going to happen at all. It's not going to happen at all. Here's why. They got to pay $1 billion.
William, let me finish because I haven't gotten to the end yet. Because what I was going to have to say, you're skipping to the end. Because it's not going to happen to the end until a year. That gives Disney enough time to renegotiate to renegotiate the self-governance, and it is going to happen. They are going to renegotiate. They're going to bring that self-governance back because it is all that Ron DeSantis was looking for was a written statement. Like, I just need it written down that you're not going to get involved in Florida politics ever again.
Disney basically told them to kiss their ass, and here's why that's never going to happen. This is why I skipped to the end.
All right,
in order for that to get put into action, the counties and the surrounding areas have to pay off the bonds and stuff that Disney would have paid on their own through their self-governance. That means you're going to have to raise tax money for people who are like, wait a minute.
No. Here's the thing. Is that Disney has been getting, they all say, oh, you're giving Disney, these idiots have been saying, oh, you've been giving Disney a tax break. No, that's nonsense. Disney has gotten a tax break from this self-governance. Now you can talk about, well, now, the other counties have to pay it, but look, Disney would not be getting out of this financially either. So it is in everyone's interest to renegotiate to bring it back, but on the condition, and it's a simple little statement, and it's not going to hurt anybody. Just a written statement. Just get it in writing.
Disney has no reason to negotiate that. They have no reason. They have the law behind their hand. They have to pay that money in order to enact that the solution of the self-governance. Somebody has to pay that money. All those contractors, all those people who build all that infrastructure, they got to get paid. So in the liability, when you dissolve the liability, you dissolve Disney's liability. You dissolve it, you have to renegotiate something else, but that means higher taxes. And that ain't happening in Florida.
Disney has to pay those taxes too. Disney has to pay those taxes too. Look, where do you live right now, William? Where do you live?
I live in Nevada.
Vegas.
Yeah, I live in Florida. I know how this stuff is going, I think, more.
Yeah, and you see how we jammed up in Vegas with it, right? The reason why we got our stadium is because we got wise to how this works. But yeah, Disney's not going to lose an inch on this simple because the people are going to be like, why am I paying higher taxes for no good reason?
No, Disney's going to be paying this tax too, which is why everyone is going to be negotiated. I said it was inevitable anyway. Now,
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I don't know, you guys, yeah, let's. I mean, hey, if you guys want to talk about this, William, you do have your own stream, and invited Eric on. Have that. Yeah. But you know what? It's 3 hours into this thing. I need to wrap it up. I have work tomorrow, and as much as I would love to like keep on going with all this stuff, but I need to wrap it up, and I know Carrie needs to go too, and everybody, and Jose needs to eat his Taco Bell, which I'm jealous because I wish I had some Taco Bell right now.
Smells really good.
Yeah,
ordered it in. Ordered it
cheesy
in.
gordita crunch.
Go to get the Taco Bell. He ordered it in.
Yum. But let's go around the horn, and Eric, go ahead and promote whatever you want to promote.
Well, the Justice League Motion Comics Sunset of the Gods, we are still in operation, and you can follow that on Twitter at JL Motion Comic. You can follow me on Twitter at Hardboiled Films. We got a lot of good things.
Nice. All right, Carrie. Anything to promote?
If you want to follow me on Twitter, there at KM Vanderberg, and see whatever I decide to happen to tweet or retweet about.
There it is. Jose?
Yeah, same thing. That's my handle right there. Champagne Pepe on Twitter. You can follow me. I gained 1 follower today. It was
look at you.
It was Selena, actually. She followed me back.
That was one of our Vegas strippers. Was it one of them?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
They don't know I have Twitter. No, they don't know.
They do now if they're watching. But...
Uh-oh.
Well, I will say, even if he didn't get to make it to CinemaCon, looks like San Diego Comic-Con is happening. And I'm excited. They did the general hotel sale this week, so for downtown hotels. So
I've been slowly getting more followers over the past week or so. I wonder how much of it is due to Elon Musk, but regardless.
Yeah. Elon Musk helped you with that. All right, William, go ahead and promote yourself.
You can Google me, find me anywhere, Sci-Fi Center, and you can catch me on Poindexter Lounge, usually every Friday at 6:30 for the Sci-Fi Center Live, and I do a couple other shows there too as well.
There you go.
But
all right, guys.
It doesn't come on.
I know. Hey, you do it on the day that I'm gonna do a vodka stream that could last for at least 6 hours. It's a little difficult. I have to prepare and get ready. I'll try to make it though. I'll try to make it.
Pregame. You got to get your pregame.
I got to get my pregame in. So if I can get my pregame in, I will. I plan on making an appearance. Don't worry, William. I will. Anyways, hit that like, thumbs up, do all that stuff, guys, and thank you guys for supporting the channel and everything. It's what it's all about. We're trying to do all that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Film Junkie Live, of course, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All that stuff. All right, guys, love you. Appreciate the support with all the patrons, and thank you to Kat. Thank you to who else showed up on this thing tonight?
Phil.
Huh?
Did you have women? Did you have a woman on the show today?
Yeah, Kat showed up.
Why are you so shocked? Look at.
No, man, it's always been. We've never had a woman on the panel.
No, we had Rhea one time. Yeah, Rhea showed up.
I said the exact same thing as you were
we
saying.
Need more.
William,
we need more.
That it's about time we had a woman on this show because we've been a sausage fest every single episode.
Congratulations, Dave. I'm happy for you.
Oh yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, because I've never had a woman on the vodka stream at all. Yeah,
no, on Friday. William sounds like a dad after prom night to a son. Right. Congratulations, son, you did it.
I know you did it. You did it. Oh my God, look at you go. But and then Phil. That's right. Phil was on here. Sorry. Yeah, Phil. All right. So thank you to Kat. Thank you to Phil. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Later.